This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic. With 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors: pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Hey, Whatcom County, the holidays are over and lots of Americans are financially drained. Luckily, Bayside Coin and Jewelry pays top dollar for scrap gold, jewelry, and gold, silver, or platinum coins. If you have a pile of old jewelry or a stash of silver dollars, bring them into the store and see what they're worth. Or visit PacificRimCoins.com/calculator to get an instant quote using our free scrap calculator. That's PacificRimCoins.com/calculator for an instant quote.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4091. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, it is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: the best airlines in America and delicious soup. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room shout of the day, phonable listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Taylor. Click, clack. Drinking and drunk. All right, here we go. Florida woman knocks on her neighbor's door and asks the couple if they want any of this. Meanwhile, Australian authorities tell snakebite victims to not bring in the thing that bit you. That hisses. Man ran marathon with a fridge on his back, then makes a horrible mistake. Ambulance driver has a hard time understanding the gas pedal and the brake. And a kayaking mailman rescues a parachuter who landed in a lake. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, it's well known. People steal things, all kinds of things. Cars, bikes, electronics, jewelry, money, mail, clothes, grapes, and on it goes. Well, a couple from Connecticut, they threw, a new one into the theft mix. They were arrested for stealing railroad tracks. They stole almost half a mile of an active railroad track and then sold the scrap. Now, I think the worst thing I've stolen was a puffy, glow-in-the-dark skull sticker when I was in 3rd grade. Okay, actually, that's not the worst thing I've stolen, but it's the only time I got caught. But the punishment was that humiliating experience of having to return to the store where I nicked it, confessing to it, and apologizing. I couldn't give the sticker back because it was already stuck to my bike. Anyway, but looking back, the moment really wasn't that terrible, but at the time, it really, really sucked. And I think most things from childhood are kind of that way. A recent survey found that 12% of people actually had their mouths washed out with soap when they were a kid. 12%. 86% of Americans say they were spanked as a child. And looking back, every kid I knew got spanked, but I only knew one family that made their kids wash their mouth out with soap. But one thing we all had in common, all of us would be grounded from time to time. I think my longest grounding was a solid month. And it was a long and unpleasant month, but it pales in comparison to one Fred Glingworth. At the age of 13, Fred filled the family car with gazpacho soup. Filled the car with it. He was grounded for 5 years until he was 18. And in case you're wondering, that is the longest grounding ever reported. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across, stories that left us with many questions that we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question. And this is how it works. You call us, we ask you a question at complete random, and after you share your answer, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
New Yorkers and visitors alike are heading to New York City's extraordinary experience that you have to feel to believe. Summit One Vanderbilt. An interactive, multi-level experience of art, sky, and exploration. Discover exhilarating heights, explore reflective spaces, walk among floating silver orbs, and immerse yourself in spectacular views of New York. Book your visit at summitov.com and start your journey here.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9. KISW.
Oh, Charles, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4091. What a large and in charge program we have for you today on this beautiful Monday, guaranteed future repeat.
Yes.
Exciting return of your guess is as good as mine are categories. The 10 most popular soups in the U.S.
All right.
Still soup season. Well, we haven't really turned the corner on, giving up soup yet.
It's still chilly. It's still soup season, bro.
The 10 most popular soups in the U.S. And maybe you should get set to take a little vacation, head out on your spring break plans or whatever you got. We've got the best airlines in America.
Best or favorite?
Well, we have the safest airline in the U.S. also happens to be the cheapest and yet not the best overall. They compared the 9 largest U.S. airlines and one regional carrier across 13 metrics, including cost, delays, cancellations, injuries, entertainment options, and legroom. And each airline was given an overall score.
I hate that injuries is part of that.
Turbulence. When you think about the people who get thrown up into the...
Yeah, I mean, is that an airline's fault, though?
I mean,
if they keep on the seatbelt, it's going to get turbulent, right?
Yeah, more than likely, yeah. But either way...
Oh, thank you for flying our airline. It's about to get a bit turbulent, but I don't care if you put on the seatbelt or not.
There's a reason they don't serve soup on an airline.
Yeah, the very good reason why they don't do that.
Soup and airlines. But yeah, trust me, there's some bumps in the road. You don't want a bowl of soup in front of you.
I'm sure they did back in the day, and after many burn crotches, they're like, let's stop this practice. Let's not do
my
this.
buddy was in the middle seat. He ordered coffee. I was like, it feels risky.
No.
Yes, it does. It does, for
I
sure.
rarely order hot coffee on a plane.
So your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, we'll update that list of some of the locations. And thank you, everyone over the weekend who went out and bought the new Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Number of emails on the places where you found it.
Many pictures.
We appreciate you doing that and continue to do so. Send those emails to the men's room at KISW.com. Include a picture and location. We'll spread the word and try to do as much good as we can for the Fisher House and a great beer, too, man. The reviews on this beer have just been outstanding and fantastic. I had not read one negative thing yet from everyone who says, you know what, I'm not normally an IPA drinker, but this is fresh, crisp, delicious.
It is. It's all of those things.
And you'll still like it if you like IPAs.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
You won't dislike it because you like IPAs. You'll probably like it if you don't like IPAs. I was talking to my mom yesterday. She's bitching because she can't get it in New Mexico. Yeah. And I'm like, well, it's out of my hands. I keep hearing you talk about it. I would just like to try it. I'm like, I understand, Mom. It's not in New Mexico.
I think the farthest we've gone so far is over the border into Idaho.
Idaho, that's right. Yeah, we found that out last week.
I haven't heard anything out of Oregon yet, but Idaho is your next state over that has the beer. So if you're in the Coeur d'Alene area, maybe you'll be able to find it there. What else do we have for you today? Oh, not only today, not only all this week, but every single show on KISW has tickets for you to see Aerosmith November 24th at Climate Pledge Arena. That's the Joe Perry Farewell to Brain Cells tours. You can watch him. Just give them away up on stage. You know, if you need a couple extra ones, Joe whatever he's got left, he's going to donate them to you.
And a whole lot left, man. I mean, there's just not a lot going around up there.
If you've never seen Aerosmith and you want to see them, I truly believe that, at least with their original lineup, those guys are all getting up there, and this tour has been postponed once already based on the fact that Steven Tyler had vocal injury maybe within the first couple shows.
Something like that.
But either way, they're ready to rock now. So we have the tickets, and what they said was, you guys give a time, and then we will give a secret word, and then you text that to 206-803-ROCK. Here's what we figured. Since a lot of you celebrated a holiday there over the weekend, we would make the time today 4:20. Ooh. Yeah, 4:20. We'll give you the secret word. You text that to 206-803-ROCK for your chance to check out Aerosmith and the Farewell to Brain Cells tour coming to Climate Pledge Arena on November the 24th. And today is the day that we do our random question. Question 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Emmett. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, man, welcome to the program. Random question. What do we have for you here, Emmett? Okay. What did you or do you hide from your parents? Maybe it's something that you're interested in. Maybe it's an activity that you like to do. Maybe it's the fact that you hid something in your room growing up. You just try to keep them from knowing what you're up to now. Is there anything that you've kept from your parents over the years?
I mean, I used to hide some, like, nudie mags when I was a little kid, but, like, since I've grown up, I tell my parents about, like, everything that I've done, even some of the illegal stuff, and we just kind of laugh about it.
Kind of laugh, yeah. Right. What's a story that you shared with your parents? Like you said, now you're grown up, and they didn't find it quite as funny as you did when you were telling. Like if you've ever been arrested, that's a guarantee.
No, never been arrested, but I've gone out a few times, smashing mailboxes, egging various things. We've gotten into a little bit of destruction here and there, blowing some stuff up.
You know what, man? That was standard fare for me growing up. That might not be normal for most people, but living in the middle of West Virginia, that was...
If you live in the middle of nowhere, blowing stuff up is a guarantee.
And mailbox baseball and destroying people's property that, normally just a mailbox. Never anybody's home or anything like that. But, that was fairly standard.
I mean, my parents know... I don't think I successfully hid anything from my parents. They may not have broached the topic with me, but looking back, they got a teenage son who's always up to no good. So I know they had to peruse through my room every once in a while just to... I think it got to the point where they're probably happy just to find porn magazines, but there's nothing like drugs or guns or any of that crap. Yeah. So they're probably like, don't even bring it up. But my brother and I, to this day, I'm going to say there's 2 or 3 stories that we still, like, I'm not bringing it up. No. It doesn't matter.
There's some things I don't think your parents need to know.
And they don't want to.
Right? You're right. There's sometimes stories go around and I'll be like, it's fine. Nobody's hurt. It was 20 years ago, but still, your parent doesn't want to hear that.
No. Also, my parents, it was just their mindset. It's where they came from, how they grew up. But their marijuana was the same as heroin.
Yeah, it was all the same. Drugs are bad, period.
Alcohol, it's legal. When you're old enough to drink it, you can drink it. But every other thing out there,
sure,
that was as bad as it gets. Cocaine, it was no different than mushrooms, which was no different.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So drugs were drugs. So.
But I didn't have that. But it was beaten into my head so much that is not something they had to worry about from me during my teen years. After my teen years, when I live at home, sure, but the burden's not yours anymore. But yeah, when I lived there, we'd sneak booze. Like I said, it was the same thing, man. You sneak booze, you're trying to talk to chicks, and you're looking at porn magazines.
Mm-hmm. And my friends didn't even really necessarily smoke that much. An occasional cigarette when you're out having, drinks with buddies or whatever. Maybe the occasional lunch cigarette at school.
Sure. But it was the lunch cigarette.
It was West Virginia. It was more about dipping.
I was going to say how many people dipped.
And you could dip in class. So... you know the smell. It was high school. You were allowed to.
And people have spitters.
You were allowed to dip.
Yeah, that's probably the whole rule. Like, hey, Billy, make sure that damn spitter stays on your desk.
For whatever reason, I had a hard time with it, so I'd always, end up throwing up. And
that's a problem.
That was never my drug of choice.
Did you ever do one of the things when, a kid would have a cigarette and you're, 13 or 14? And, I clearly had never smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say that, so I told him, I said, no, it's not my brand.
Okay. Well, smoking was...
I like that, right, because you refused to say, I'm not cool, so it's like, this is not my brand.
I had no idea. I'm just like, no, that's not the kind I smoke. You smoke cigarettes? Like, yeah, I smoke them all the time with my girlfriend from the other school.
Yeah, right. Of course. Well, girlfriend's hot, no one's a virgin, of course I smoke, of course I've drank, all that stuff. We've done it all.
My parents are rich.
The law was 18 years old for cigarettes. Mm-hmm. So you had to be 18 to buy a pack of cigarettes.
Still is, right? Or is it 21?
But anybody can roll, back then, anybody could roll into that same 7-Eleven
and buy them
and get Skoal or Copenhagen. Mm-hmm. So as far as, if you wanted to chew tobacco, they would sell it to you at 15. If you wanted to smoke it, they would not.
Because that was the rule. What I thought was weird, though, was cigarettes.
That was illegal, too, but it just, for whatever reason, that they gave that a pass. It didn't matter.
But I could buy smokes from my father at, the local store when we lived in upstate New York, because the guy knew who my father was, knew who I was, but there's still a cutoff. So I could be 11 years old, and I can pick up a pack of smokes from my dad, because I know it's from my dad. And then there were kids I knew that were, 16. They couldn't buy cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because they were like, look, we know you're smoking them. We know this dumbass kid here is not.
The reason we asked, what do you hide or keep from your parents? This is the flip of that, but there is a secret group of moms out there that are slowly emerging and telling their stories. Oftentimes, their friends don't know. Sometimes, even their husbands don't know. These are, as what they call it, the moms who smoke in secret.
All right.
Emily Gould spoke to a number of mothers who smoke or vape, in one case, chew nicotine gum. Most of whom are insistent their kids not find out or their husbands. You just tell them your story because it's relatable. Don't start smoking when you're 14 because you'll be 48 and not able to quit. I can vouch for that. Says one woman to her husband who thinks she should spill her secret habit to their kids, but she doesn't want the kids to take it up as a kind of a permission slip to try the habit themselves.
All right.
Because as Gould and multiple mothers point out, nicotine is, of course, not good for you and extremely difficult to quit. So why do they continue to use it? The reasons
because it's extremely difficult to quit.
Yeah, it's right there.
The feeling is great, and it's so much fun. It's like a little piece of resistance or rebellion to the simple fact that it's a substance that allows you to use it while still remaining present and capable to take care of your kids. Do they plan to quit? In most cases, no. The woman who was mentioned, kids do know about her nicotine habit. Explained it to her 8-year-old. So everyone is addicted to something. I'm addicted to vaping. You're addicted to playing Roblox.
Come on, man, get it right.
What, Roblox?
Roblox, brother.
What is that now?
That is the currency of the video game world
gotcha.
for certain ages. Put it this way: every Christmas, every birthday, Is it Blocks, Bucks, Roblox? What is it?
Not me, man.
What are they called?
Robux?
Something.
I mean, they
like
sell gift cards at the grocery store.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And these, they moms, they are not smoking a ton, maybe 3 to 4 cigarettes a day. They're just stinking one out
Here's
there
the thing,
when they
man.
want one.
I'm convinced you might think you're hiding it from your sibling, and you can use mouthwash and all the rest of the stuff. If you're a non-smoker, you can always tell when someone has had a cigarette, right? I mean, I don't smell it anymore, but I guarantee you, when I get on the elevator with someone, Mike, I can get on with you. I'm sure it smells like I just smoked a cigarette. Anytime I walk back inside of like a public place, someone will say, it smells like you just smoked a cigarette. I'm like, I know.
It literally happened today. I got in the elevator by myself. Nobody got off the elevator. I walked in there, and I could tell one of you three had just gotten off this thing because it smelled like cigarettes.
So that's the thing. I'm like, look, you might think your spouse, and maybe they don't know, maybe they are actually that stupid, but chances are, because you're not doing it in front of them, and obviously you do it aware if you're hanging with the boys or the girls, that they just give you the pass on that. Because I'm like, look, man, once it's on your clothes, it's on your clothes. And everyone who doesn't smoke knows you're smoking. So if your spouse doesn't smoke, like I said, brush your teeth, wash your hands, go through the crap. When you get home, they know you were smoking. By the way, the kids, my kids, their school had their auction this past Saturday. Now, I am a smoker. I openly admit that I smoke. So every time we go to these things, they last
you
freaking...
You can't smoke on school grounds, can you?
That is a theory that I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm supposed to.
Well, it's a private school, so.
Well, look, here's the thing. Typically, if I have to go to these school functions, I will actually leave school property, right? Just stand on the perimeter, whatever. It's raining a little bit this past weekend. Like, I'm not doing that. And nobody cares, right? So I just duck in between these dumpsters. And as much as it costs to go there, whatever, man. So I'm smoking a cigarette. Keep in mind, I'm the only person there that I know actually smokes. But I go out to smoke a cigarette. I go back in, and as I walk by some other tables, because that's a big sit-down thing, obviously they get wind that I've smoked a cigarette. Well, suddenly all these non-smokers, probably 12 of them, want to know if they could borrow a cigarette.
Oh, nice.
Yep, can they come and smoke?
Because they've already had some drinks.
And here's the thing. If you're the occasional smoker, don't apologize for it. Good for you, right? But it's always the same line. So you get 12 different people giving you the same spiel. It's like Manchurian Candidate, for God's sakes. And they're like, hey, man, I don't normally smoke, but a lot of times when I'm like, yeah, I know. When you get a couple of alcohol beverages in you, you want a cigarette. Yep. I don't care. You don't need to explain it. Just say, can I bum a smoke? It's like all these guys we see in front of this building. Hey, man, can I bum a smoke? I just got out of jail. Just ask me for the smoke.
Right.
I don't care that you got out of jail. I do not care that you're a social smoker. Ask for a cigarette and let's be done.
I work with a guy named Bob, and he lived with his girlfriend. They were a long-time couple, just not married yet. And he had a bout with cancer, pretty bad bout. And he was younger. It was not good, you know. And he was not a smoker or any of that stuff. But he goes through all this chemo and everything else. And his girlfriend is largely responsible for taking the time off to take him to all these appointments.
Yeah.
And all these things. So even though she has a job, she is invested in his health and being there with him when he needs it. And all these different things are knocking him out. And he probably missed work for 4 or 5 months before he came back. And when he came back, I saw him out on the porch smoking a cigarette. Now, I'd never seen Bob smoke before, but he had this gardening glove that was like a motorcycle glove that came up to his elbow. It was like heavy-duty rubber, the whole thing.
Oh, so you couldn't smell it.
Yeah, so he would put on this glove. It was a left-handed glove.
Like he's a falconer or something.
And he would go out there and just smoke with this big-ass glove on because he didn't want his girlfriend to smell it on his hands, and he would hang it up right by his desk at work. So when you walk in there, it looks like, like, what are you doing, landscaping or what? Like, what the hell's
smoking, man?
I knew a guy that used to smoke with like a roach clip.
Just so it wouldn't touch his fingers?
Just so it wouldn't touch his fingers. And he was like, I do the same thing at work. I was like, all right.
I mean, do what you got to do, man. It seems like a lot.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, we're having a little party. Men's Room World Tour continues this Sunday. Hopefully you get a chance to stop by, do a little Sunday fun day with us at Olaf's in Ballard for a little afternoon drinking 3 until 5.
3 until 5 or 2 until 4?
3 until 5 or 2 until 4? 3 until
2 until 4.
I told you 2 until 4 on Sunday. Olaf's in Ballard.
Well, Mike and Phil and I will be there too. Miles will be there
at 3. He'll hang out until 5.
Yeah. Hold on, let me go to KISW.com. See if I can get the facts straight on this.
2 until 4.
Ballard is Sunday. Mm-hmm. I'll be damned. 2 until 4.
2 until 4.
Like I'm the producer or something.
Olaf's, like you know what you're talking about. We'll see you for a little afternoon. They will have the brand new Men's Room beer brought from Wooley's Famous Sausage.
Nice.
On the menu while we're there. And, of course, some delicious roasted red salsa from San Juan's Salsa Company as well. So we're going to try to raise a little money for the Fisher House. And it's free party at Olaf's. Great neighborhood bar. It's been there forever. Mm-hmm. It's a cool place to sit down and have a few drinks. So hopefully, if you're in the Ballard area, stop by and see us on Sunday. 2 till 4.
And if you're not in the Ballard area, drive there. And then be in that area and join us.
Random.
Hello, Alex. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, skinheads.
Hola. Alex, welcome to the program. Ran a question. All right, let's go with this one.
Just real quick before we start, did those postcards that I sent you guys ever arrive?
They did arrive.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we got them. We got them a couple weeks ago. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Let's see here. Okay, let's go with this one. Who had the most unfortunate name of anyone that you've ever known?
None really come to mind, actually.
Okay. I went to school with the Crystal Clear.
Yep, Crystal Clear. There's names like that. I didn't go to
Brook
school,
Trout.
but my buddy at his high school, there was a kid. His name was Babatunde Stokes. And we even wrote a song because it was just fun to say.
Hey,
he's like, I've
shut
never
up.
seen a kid, but he's like, he just heard the name from the principal for the announcement, like, Babatunde Stokes. And it's like, Babatunde Stokes? Mm-hmm. What the F?
Okay, yeah.
I assume they just call him Bob.
I mean, to me, I went to grade school with a girl named Emily Buttkiss.
Yeah, you can't escape the butt kiss, man.
There was a famous lacrosse coach at DeMatha named Dick Long.
Dick Long.
Famous teacher named Buck Offit.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Buck Offit.
Buck Offit.
Yeah, his last name was Offit, and he went by Buck. So I mean, that was a big one. I told you there was a guy I knew named Chanel Anthony, but I didn't do it. But I used the nickname. He was very dark. So people just called him Smoke.
And what happened when you said it?
Smoke was fine.
Okay.
Smoke, I felt okay saying.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, but I think he just didn't want to go by Chanel.
I understand that. Yeah. It's like, my brother went through it with Tracy, and then went to Adrian, and I'm like, that's really not much better. Now, as an adult, all the family calls him Adrian because that's just what we know him as, but I want to say most other people he meets now, he's willing to go by Tracy.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Reason we asked who has the most unfortunate name, you know, a mom was banned from Uber unless she changed her name, and she has hit back and has finally received an apology from Uber. While the name may be controversial in a modern setting, it stretches back thousands of years. For millions of people, they say, around the world, the word swastika is associated with the horrors of World War II. But
yeah, pretty much.
Swastika Chandra, to her, it's an important part of her culture. The name means good luck and prosperity in ancient Sanskrit, which is a major part of the 35-year-old mom's identity as a Hindu. But for many in the West, the word is commonly associated with Germany in the 20th century. The swastika is still, up until this day, associated with those who hold anti-Semitic beliefs.
I like how they feel that they need to explain that part to you.
Yeah, and the mom
really?
lives
Is that why people use that symbol?
Yeah. Mama lives in Sydney, Australia. She faced trouble after trying to use Uber Eats and an app. She grew up in Fiji, said her name was not deemed controversial during her childhood, but she said it's a very common name. I personally know 4 or 5 other girls with the same name. It means good luck. It means good things for me. She was even able to have her name on their birth certificate, as well as her Australian citizenship certificate, healthcare card, and driver's license without any raised eyebrows. So she was surprised when she was not able to order food through Uber. One afternoon, she explained that during the payment stage, she received a pop-up saying, "Your first name is in violation, and you need to change your name on the app." Uber has since apologized to her and brought in some new guidelines on what could be offensive, including that word. She explained that she has a deep understanding that the name is very troubling and a double meaning, but that the name has been used by Hindus for thousands of years, before Hitler, who then used it the wrong way. Mike, did I tell you my Uber story from over the weekend?
Yes, you did.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Get to the hotel on Saturday afternoon down in Tacoma. Check into the hotel. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock. I'm like, oh man, I'm running late. I want to get to Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese
for the Daily Mix party they were throwing there. So that was from 3 until 5. It's 4 o'clock already. Fortunately, I'm close to the Chuck E. Cheese. Right. I do the Uber. Me and my buddy, we get in the back of the Uber, and the guy looks up in the mirror and he goes, "To Chuck E. Cheese?" And we're like, yeah, we want you to take us to Chuck E. Cheese. And he looks in the mirror again at both of us, like, thumbs up.
Right there, just do it.
He's like, okay, all right, I'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese. And we pulled up in front of Chuck E. Cheese, and he goes, "We are here at Chuck E. Cheese." Thanks, man. Just got out. Not a lot of conversation. Typically, the Uber driver will give you some small talk. You could tell that he kind of wanted to ask some questions,
but probably didn't want to hear the answers.
I'm not sure exactly what was going down.
Didn't want to implicate himself when you two end up on
I don't want to know anything about this, man.
Yeah, man, Chuck E. Cheese. That's where we're going, brother.
I mean, I think that's fair for him to be like, "You sure you got the right address?
Are you a manager there? Does your kid have a birthday party?" Okay.
Well, it's a standalone building. You're pulling right in front of the damn thing.
Yeah.
So it's.
By the way, some comments on names that people have known people by. It says, "I went to school with a guy named Richard Welt. We asked him all the time why he didn't go by Dick. LOL. I had a classmate in high school named Dade Dodd. When I was in 4th grade, I got to be careful with this one. When I was in 4th grade, a new kid in the class named Fook Hugh. I can guess what the kids did with that. Wow. Richard Pickle. I know a Michelle Swallows, this poor thing.
I don't think that's bad.
I met a girl at Folk Life, and her name was Crystal Neth. Not meth, but Neth. And my grandfather's name was Harry Arms.
Harry Arms.
Harry Arms.
To be fair, with the last name of Swallows, you really can't win anywhere you go.
It does not matter what you name your kid. Right. If your last name is Swallows, it's bad. If I were Steve Swallows, I know what you're going to make fun of. Right.
Anita Swallows.
Yeah, Anita Swallows. Amanda Swallows.
Amanda Swallows.
Yeah, if it's singular, it's worse. If your last name is just Swallow and you name your daughter Amanda, it's like, oh, man.
Richard Swallows?
Yeah, Richard Swallows. I go by Richard. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the men's room.
Yes, thank you so much. Hola, because.
Hola. Joe, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. Okay, you could probably answer this one in your lifetime. When and where? Maybe it was a group of people. Maybe it was just you and a couple buddies or whatever. But what memory do you have where a whole lot of drinking went down?
Ask the question once more time. Yesterday, tomorrow?
Yesterday or tomorrow?
No. What was the question, please?
The question was, when did a whole lot of drinking go on with you and your friends?
Yesterday, tomorrow?
Okay.
Yesterday he did it, and tomorrow he's doing it. All right, now we got you.
Okay. Now you're making sense.
I thought maybe you just had a glitch.
I thought you went to Vegas.
I think he sells a glitch, but I understand his point now.
Yesterday and
seemed
tomorrow.
a little glitchy.
Okay, all right. I see.
I'm trying to think it's hard to say. The parents got their toe up on Saturday, which I knew they were going to do anytime we do the school auction, but I end up being one of the most sober people there, and not because I'm not drinking. I just drink enough that my tolerance is a lot higher. And for a lot of these parents, man, this is their day to show out, and they do. And I was telling a friend last week, I said, the amazing thing about this auction is everyone throws down. Everyone has a good time. And then the following day, a bunch of apologies go around and emails and phone calls because they're kind of remembering what they may have done. My wife actually got an apology text one of our buddies, and we were like, we don't care.
Right.
You were drunk. You said F you. It's like that. That was low barrel stuff. But every year, there's all these people. They're embarrassed and they feel bad. But I'm like, you need to drink more. Or just don't drink at all.
My favorite one is if somebody will text me or I see them the next time and they go, sorry, man, had to Irish exit. I got too hammered. Like, I don't care. I'm kind of known for an Irish exit myself.
Yeah.
Mike, but isn't that you do not? The last person you should apologize is me.
Isn't that the secret sauce to being an auctioneer? I mean, as far as getting money. I mean,
absolutely.
Alcohol has everything to do with a good day compared to a bad day.
Is it immoral? Yeah, but it's also helpful.
It's not. If Vegas stopped serving alcohol, I mean, you'd sit at the slot machine for 2 minutes and like, lost too much money, man. Let's go do something.
Right.
I mean, booze, you'll take on anything. That's why they do these. As soon as we walked in, man, like the word was, hey, they have beer, wine, some mixed drinks, and bourbon. They ran out of bourbon before the auction started.
Yep. Reason we asked where and when did a whole lot of drinking go down. An airline boss has admitted that when his company took its first British flight load of passengers, they drank so much booze, the plane was drained of the drinks. Sun Express is a Turkish airline, and it may be unfamiliar to some Brits, but it did start running flights from the UK in 2022. And anyone who has spotted the airline on airport signs will have been flying to some wonderful holiday spots in Turkey. Well, the airline's boss and chief executive of the firm spoke about the behavior of some Brits on the airplane. He claims the British travelers are more hedonistic than our European cousins and spend a lot more money. Max claims that one flight aimed at golf enthusiasts on its way to Turkey was drained dry of its alcohol offerings, something that has never happened on any other flight from any other country outside of Britain. The boss said, we sold out of beer and wine in 25 minutes after departure. We have not done that on any other flight or in any other market.
25 minutes.
Less surprising to British holidaymakers who love a pint to start their trips abroad. But either way, Sun Express, it's a value carrier. They operate out of Birmingham and a couple other airports, Newcastle, Manchester. The airline runs 136 flights weekly from the UK to some gorgeous holiday locations in Turkey, across Europe and Asia. But either way, he says this is the first time that any plane has sold out of drinks. And to do it in 25 minutes on a 4.5 to 5 hour flight.
That's the amazing part.
I'm getting drunk on a plane.
I know I don't recall the entire flight, but the first time I ever sat in first class, it was one of those deals. I'm already seated in coach, and then we find out there's a seat open in first class. So I end up getting it, whatever. So the flight attendant's like, well, hey, man, the drinks are free. I'm like, let's go. Anyway, I start drinking. Long story short, the plane lands, and I just do everything I can to open my eyes, and my wife is standing in the aisle with her arms folded, just mean mugging me. So I'm smart enough to know in that moment not to ask questions, and I'm sure she will fill me in on the ride home, which she did. But the point was, the flight attendant, as I'm getting off the flight, she was like, actually, you were Joy. She's like, you're a little drunk, but you're a Joy. But she goes, the other first-class passengers were mad because you drank all of the Jack Daniels that we had in stock. Which I didn't, and so I said, well, how many is it? She goes, normally I want to say they have 24, but on the flight, just for whatever, they had 17. She's like, you drink all of them. Like, I feel like I drank 17 shots of Jack Daniels, no doubt about it. Yep, great flight.
Flights are weird. Like, I've been on, I met some guys in Vegas, and I believe them, right? Because two of them I'm related to. My one cousin's a degenerate. I didn't believe him. But the other cousin was like, yeah, we all got cut off after one beer. And I was like, why? And they were like, we were just that loud. And I'm like, because I'm looking at them. They landed right before I did. So they're at the airport. They're still in their first beer. I'm like, you guys don't look drunk. And they're like, no. They're like, he was just that loud. And he was like, they cut us off. And then also we're like, you guys need to shut up.
Yeah, I've had that experience before.
We drank the train out.
We did drink it. So we're 4-hour ride, whatever, 3.5 to Portland. And when I got a bar car, and I didn't think we were crushing it, but obviously we were. So we go back to the bar car. We're maybe 30 minutes outside of Portland.
And we linked up with a bachelor party.
That is correct. Okay. And the bartender even says, hey, man, honest to God, I have nothing left to give you. I want to say they have a bottle of wine. I'm like, you don't have any more beer left. And I remember this woman's like, no, man, we really don't. You guys have been putting down the beer. I'm like, I have $20 in cash that says you have more beer. She looks at me. She had 1 6-pack left, dude, but she broke it out. And I'm like, I know you're not done. But then there was a woman, so not this building, but our building that the old studio used to be in. We did not know her beyond just seeing her in the building. Well, she happens to be on that train ride. Okay, now she's sitting in the back with the regular passengers, but that's roughly where our bags were. So every, 20 minutes you go back just to check on your bag, right? Make sure they're there. And she looks up at me and she goes, I went to the bar car to get a glass of wine. Now, I don't even recall drinking any wine.
I don't either.
But we drank that too. She's like, I had one glass. The next time I went up, the bartender pointed into the car where you guys are and just said, they have consumed it all. She was pissed, man.
Remember, we hooked up with those dudes that were on the bachelor party.
Right. The Applejack guys?
Yeah, so we're partying with them. And then everybody just kept going back and getting rounds of beer. And then, at one point, because Miggs was with us, he comes back with 4 rum and cokes, and it's like, they're out of beer. So then people just kept going to get rounds, and then come back and we're like, now we're drinking wine.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever they had.
Hello, Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola. Mike, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What is would you say is the weirdest or grossest dish that you have tried in your life?
Oh, my Lanta. It's not very, weird, really. I just hate beets.
Are you talking about the Easter peeps?
No,
beets.
Beets. Beets.
Like the root
I thought you
vegetable.
said peep.
Brother, that's all you got to say. That, to me, it's
My
weird.
wife's family is Ukrainian, so they eat a ton of beets.
Do they
And
eat
it tastes
beets?
like dirt.
Because they do taste like dirt. And I know, Ukraine, Russia, all this. Are beets just remarkably plentiful there? I can't imagine any reason why I'd want to eat
I'm not
beets.
sure. I'm not trying to find out.
No.
Yeah, dude,
And,
beets are
and not only that, but the prep time takes a lot, and then at the end you're just eating a beet.
And it just tastes like dirt. I guess my thing with beets, I think it's a gorgeous vegetable. They can make anything look better. I get it. But you go through all this effort, and in the end, it just tastes like mud. And I don't understand how it's not considered like an exotic. I think because it's plentiful.
I'd almost rather have cranberries.
But I would. Over a beet?
Over a beet?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course.
Right, but if you want to put something red in there to make something
I see what you're saying.
Just give me a couple cranberries instead of a beet.
I agree.
I mean,
or a red tomato.
I'm not big on beets. People I've had them in some Russian or Ukrainian dish.
Yep.
That was okay, but it was more like a porridge or like a stew.
Would it have been better if they weren't involved? You know what I mean? Did
I
you
don't know.
notice
It
a beet was in your
fine.
mouth every time?
No, because it was almost
Kind of
like
emulsified in there?
correct, right? So it was like a
You know why they do that?
There was meat and sour cream, so I was like, all right.
Because if they don't emulsify, they know you'd pull those sons of bitches out.
It shows up a lot in a Passover dinner like tonight, too.
Really?
Oh, yes.
My issue with beets
think
is-
about Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
My issue with beets is just other people. Because it's happened to me a couple times. Where I don't like beets. What, do you not eat vegetables? No, I don't like beets.
Yeah.
Damn, man, yeah.
Reason we ask what's the weirdest or grossest dish you've tried as the nation prepares for trillions of red-eyed bugs known as cicadas to emerge. It's worth noting that they're not just annoying, they're delicious. Blocks away from the French Quarter and the fine dining stalwarts at Antoine's and Brennan's, the Audubon Insectarium in New Orleans has long served up an array of alternative insect-based treats as its Bug Appetit Cafe overlooks the Mississippi River. Things like cinnamon bug crunch, chili fried waxworms, and crispy Cajun spice crickets are among the menu items. As, of course, you can imagine, the cicadas only on the menu once every 13 or 17 years.
Limited time.
All right. And this year, 2 groups are expected to emerge soon. They emerge when the ground warms up to 64 degrees, which is happening earlier than it used to because of climate change. The curator of animal collections there at the Insectarium.
Yeah.
Has been working up cicada dishes that may become a part of the menu. He donned a chef's smock this week to show a couple off, including a green salad with apple, almonds, blueberry vinaigrette, and roasted cicadas. Fried cicada nymphs were dressed on top with a warm mixture of Creole mustard and soy sauce.
You know, man, I would try that, especially in New Orleans.
Yeah, he said, hey, look, this is how I do my dragonflies.
Well, say no more.
Same recipe.
Simple. Hey, if it works on the dragonfly, it's got to work on a cicada.
I've said it a million times.
More of the random question.
You see it written in every kitchen.
206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, You call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Owning a business means spending a lot of time thinking about money. Do you have enough cash to pay your team? Restock inventory? Cover the urgent bills? The solution? Banking with Relay to gain total cash flow clarity. With up to 20 checking accounts, you can separate cash for every expense. Payroll, inventory, taxes, so you know exactly how much you have to spend. Get business banking built for e-commerce. Sign up in 10 minutes at bankwithrelay.com. Relay is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Thread Bank. Member FDIC.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas. Boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's up?
Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question 206-803-ROCK.
I'm just curious to know, does anyone in this studio actually like beets?
I do not.
You don't?
I
don't. You don't. Ted, you don't. Mike, you don't. Hey, someone here says, hey, man, don't S on beets. They're easily a top 4 vegetable. Never heard anyone ever say that. Someone else says, you most likely had borscht, talking to you, Ted. Beets are plentiful in Russia. They're used in many dishes and are mind-blowing when pickled. Try cooking beets in a pan with butter, olive oil, garlic, and onions.
Again, though, as Thrill has said for years, like almost any vegetable, once you pickle it, it's delicious.
Look, I don't particularly like vegetables, but yes, if you pickle a vegetable, I'm much more likely to eat them. The beets, man, there's a lot of beet defense going on here. That's all I'm saying. Hello, Robert. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. Robert, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. Do you think overall that you have a somewhat healthy diet? What would you say is the healthiest thing you eat and the unhealthiest thing that you eat?
Unhealthiest, easiest, fast food. Healthiest, yeah, I can't really think of anything healthy. I don't really eat much.
Well, do you like salads, vegetables, fruits, all that kind of crap?
Every once in a while, in the blue moon, but yeah.
All right, what do you typically eat?
Salad or watermelon.
What do you eat for breakfast?
I'm more like a water coffee breakfast. Nothing really.
Okay.
Just get up and go.
Do you eat any lunch?
Same. Just keep going. I only really eat dinner.
All right. So what would you have today? In other words, what's for dinner tonight?
That is yet to be determined.
All right. Now, does that mean it's probably going to be?
Figure that out.
Is that going to be something you figure out at home or a fast food stop on the way home?
Probably a fast food on today's itinerary.
Okay.
And what's your top pick as far as the fast food chains go? You know you're going home. That's going to be your dinner. Where's your number one place to stop?
Usually it's Taco Bell.
All right.
And then a close runner-up would be Domino's for me.
Ooh, all right.
Okay. All right.
I usually feel like Taco Bell is then followed by Jack in the Box. You kind of threw me a little bit of a curveball there.
I went 20 years basically eating the same routine. So exactly what he said. I had coffee in the morning, water, maybe a coffee or energy drink in the afternoon, then I would just eat dinner.
I mean, but a lot of that is just financially. It's like you're going to eat one meal today. Mm-hmm. When do you want it? And dinner always felt the best, but there's no guarantee. Typically, you know what it was? Freaking ramen.
Yeah.
You know, because ramen was cheap, and then you could buy other things to mix with the ramen to act like you're doing something new. But in the end, it was just ramen. And then ordered a lot of pizza.
Typically, when I eat, I start to kind of get a little sluggish and slow down. So it's tough in here, man. Sometimes they'll bring in lunches or whatever the deal is.
You make heavy-ass lunches?
Yeah, and then I'll eat it. Like, we had pasta.
It was a boopa de beppo?
Yeah, it was great. But
it's good, but it's heavy,
I had a piece
man.
like of garlic bread and then, like a couple meatballs or whatever the hell. And by the time I was like, oh, my. It was really good, but
yeah,
it's just tough to do it before you go on the air at 2 o'clock. It really does. It's so
yeah, like I like it when we get cheesesteaks for lunch every once in a great while, but like that's definitely like ugh.
It slows me down, but I eat the whole freaking thing. I do.
Reason we asked,
it's too good.
Do you think you have a healthy diet? Tats is another one. What is the healthiest thing you eat and the unhealthiest? Here are what they say are 5 foods to avoid if you want to live to be 100 years old.
I bet you they're all going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they are.
They are exactly what you think they are.
Chips.
Number 1 is white pasta. That is considered a highly refined carbohydrate. The starches have been heavily processed to remove almost everything in there that's healthy, besides the starch. They are very quickly metabolized to sugar, which will drive up inflammation. A study indicates that high-carb diets were more likely to predict inflammation than high-fat ones in women who are overweight or obese.
So when you say white pasta, basically pasta as we know it.
Unless there's wheat pasta.
I know you can get the wheat and all that.
There's zucchini.
Come on. Zucchini noodles.
Yeah, there's veggie pastas.
So in other words, pasta.
Like a spinach pasta. There's a couple different ones. White rice and bread also included.
White rice? What's the knock on white rice?
It is a white carbohydrate.
Okay.
They're just, yeah.
Okay, no, just like growing up, rice was always like a go-to. It was never considered unhealthy, I guess.
Yep. 5 foods to avoid if you want to live to be 100. Next up is sodas. Liquids, they say, are part of your diet, but if you want to live to celebrate your 100th, best to avoid any sugar-sweetened varieties like soda. Sugar is very inflammatory. And for whatever reason, inflammation is a big deal here as far as chronic diseases and shortening our life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fruit juices are the same. A study of rats links soda and high-fat food consumption with, again, inflammation, which appears to be a very big deal. Next up, if you want to live to be 100, avoid ice cream.
Boo.
They say if you do live to be 100, have some ice cream. But the reasoning is the same as above, highlighted by the risk of diseases, heart disease, cancer, and dental disease, high sugar.
Cancer?
Yeah. Here's another one. I did not see this one coming. Pie. Commercial baked goods like pies have partially hydrogenated oils.
Yeah.
As of January 2020, U.S. food manufacturers can't sell food with partially hydrogenated, Jesus Christ, whatever. But as the Cleveland Clinic points out, That's not the end of the story. Small amounts of trans fats are still in foods like pies and pie crusts. These are fats that have been chemically charged and changed to make them hard and stable at room temperature. When consumed, these fats raise bad cholesterol and lower good. Think Crisco on this.
Sure, right.
Think pie crust, think Crisco.
I just don't think I run into pie enough.
I don't eat enough pie for it to warrant being a dent. Everything else on there,
I have a slice
do.
of pecan pie in my refrigerator.
Do you?
Right now.
Ooh. Did you get it from one of the that steak place you went?
Oh, I got it at the PCC yesterday when I was
PCC.
going to the...
Look, man, I'm kind of there with Ted. Like, outside of Thanksgiving and Christmas, there's not a lot of pie eating in my world. And even then, it's only one of two. I'm either eating, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie, or pecan pie. That's pretty much it.
Right, like ice cream shows up in a lot of places.
Yes, it does.
Candy, right? But like, I don't know, unless you go to like a specific like pie bar, or like, you don't run in, I don't go over to somebody's house and they're like, hey, I made a pie.
Well, if they have, in a restaurant, if they have a slice of hot pie, like apple pie.
Sure.
And ice cream on top, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Which is two of the items on the list.
Well, you just won't live to be 100. Boy, you'll die happy.
And finally, hot dogs. Processed meat, hot dogs, sausage, deli meat should be avoided at all costs. They've been implicated in cancer and can promote heart disease. Study linked processed red meat consumption with higher odds of developing multiple cancers, including lung and colon. But they do say this. If you want to live a longer life, here's what you should eat. Ted, you basically went over a lot of this with Ted's Meat and Potatoes.
Also, I don't think it's that hard as an adult not to eat hot dogs.
Sure.
So it's tough with deli meat, man. There's always turkey deli meat, and it's just just have a little slice.
So they say if you want to live a longer life, eat this. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, herring, or stellar protein choices. All have high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. Berries, strawberries, blueberries are powerhouses for your body. Fiber, magnesium, vitamin C. Vegetables, they say, yes, eat your vegetables, especially leafy greens like broccoli and arugula, which can lower cholesterol, improve blood sugar, and all that. Extra virgin olive oil, if you can, use that to cook with. Use that in your dressings instead of butter and everything else. And nuts and seeds. They say if you want to live longer, eat those things and then avoid the other stuff.
So like what grizzly bears and gorillas eat. That's essentially the
pretty much.
Diet.
Random.
Hello, Stephen. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Stephen, welcome to the program. And the random question. All right. Okay, let's go with this one. This is for Ted. What would you say is the largest animal that you have seen in the wild? The largest in the wild.
A moose.
You saw a moose. All right.
I saw a moose. We were on North Yellowstone a few years back, and it pretty much walked right up to my Mustang. And I've never seen something so big in my life.
That always seems to be the thing with a moose. Just everyone has this idea in their head of how large they are, but I guess up until you physically see them, you just don't get it, man.
I've seen elk, but elk aren't nearly as big as a moose.
No, a moose is huge.
Oh, I've been in the middle of a herd of elk, but they're not as big as that moose was. The little one was huge.
Why were you
and
in the
that's
middle
saying
of
a lot because elk are big.
Why were you in the middle of a herd of elk? What are you, like the Tarzan of North America?
No, we were hunting a few years back over by Forks, and my father-in-law said, hey, come out here. We're just going to go out here on this landing out here. And it's right before sunset. And so we sat up there. There was nothing out there. And just as the sun set, that whole area there must have been at least 100.
Damn.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how they hug the coast. That's one thing about elk I don't understand. If you all the way down the Oregon coast and in Northern California, there are elk. But they all seem to be very close to the Pacific Ocean. So when you drive down the west coast of Oregon, there are elk crossing and elk signs everywhere. There are elk farms.
Could just be survival. You know what I mean? Like if I can hug the water and then whatever's is a predator on the other side, it's instead of being surrounded by predators, I got a little safety on one side.
I think there's just a lot of elk in the Northwest, so they're on both sides.
Or it might just be that, like a lot of people, they like long walks on the beach. It's hard to know.
It is wild, though, seeing elk on the beach. Because you just think of it as like creature in the woods.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do. We really enjoy listening to you every single day. Rock on.
Hey, thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks. I think humpback whale for me.
Where'd you see a humpback?
In Hawaii. So did you.
I did. I assume it was a humpback. I don't know, but it was very, very, very large.
More than likely it's going to be a humpback.
Much closer than I thought it should be, and then it blew out its blowhole, and I cannot explain the stink that comes out with that. Like, it was this moment where I'm like, oh, my God, look at that, huh? Blows it out like, oh, dude.
Yeah, like, I do whale watching in Cape Cod in the summer, and there's humpbacks out there. And the boat you're on is not a small boat.
Right.
But when one of those things, like, one got real close and swam just underneath the boat, I mean, he was twice, 3 times the size of the boat, it seemed like.
Yeah, like sometimes they'll put up a fin, like to say hi. Yeah. Whatever, I've seen that move before.
Actually, what they're saying is give me some skin, but no one ever does anything. How big do those things get? Are they like 50, 60 feet, maybe?
Possibly. I know, the blue whale's the biggest, and then
right.
What the next one is the
is it the
pilot? Maybe no. It's
I was thinking pilot, but is it the right whale? I don't know.
It's a big ass whale too.
They could be 55 to 66,000 pounds and 49 to 50 feet long.
Okay, so think about that length,
and the female's bigger.
Because the largest animal that you've seen in the wild, the question, scientists in India may have unearthed the biggest snake ever to have slithered across the planet.
Oh, Jesus.
From a mine, they unearthed skeletal remains of an ancient beast estimated to have lived and been up to 50 feet long, meaning longer than a typical school bus. Again, they found it in a cave because that's where it lived. Can you imagine going into that cave and running into that guy?
No.
The Smithsonian reports paleontologists who publish their findings. Estimate comes from 27 different fossilized vertebrae that they found. And scientists acknowledge there's some guesswork involved in coming up with a length. However, it's least in the conversation with that of the previously discovered giant Tinoba. I think I was close enough on that. Based on the data at hand.
You know what's funny? I hate snakes so much, I scrolled over that story 10 times. Never clicked on it.
Yeah. Either way,
I don't care.
They say they believe this one to be 50 feet long, but that doesn't. They're not saying that the snake could not have been bigger.
They're just saying at least.
They're just saying that this is what they found. It's also a cool snake because it is so big. According to the University of Texas, they basically said it's 10 feet circumference in the middle of the snake.
Our ceilings in the studio, they're probably about 12 feet, but imagine the size, that snake.
That's the middle of the snake, essentially.
It is 10 feet tall, it is 10 feet wide, it is 50 feet long.
They believe it's a relative of the boa and anaconda.
But not venomous.
Yeah, they're estimating that this thing took down some pretty massive dinosaurs along the way for food because it's a constricting snake and had that ability to do so.
Do they think it had any natural predators? I'm just thinking at the time when it's right, because like you said, you could have a dinosaur or something like that, but it's a constricting snake that's 50 feet long. So even if you sink your teeth into it, if you don't kill that thing immediately, I'm thinking it's crushing your ribs, right? God almighty.
Who knows?
Hello, Derek. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Derek. Hello, Franco. Welcome to the men's room.
Good day, Baltimore.
Hola.
Franco. All right, Franco. Man, oh man, it's going to be a tough one. Franco, either if it was an ex, a celebrity, coworker, neighbor, maybe your friend's mom, who do you believe in your mental Rolodex, do you believe that you've masturbated to the most in your lifetime? Franco.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's tough, man, because you go through different phases. Like when I was a teenager, it'd be much easier to answer this question. You had a few posters. You could only get your hands on certain magazines. Now, the world's your oyster, so it comes and goes, man. No pun intended.
Yeah, you'll love this thrill. When I was a teenager, it was Madonna.
Look, man, I'm not going to lie. I don't like her. I do not like her music. I think she's a talentless hack, and I absolutely masturbated to that woman.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, just like, look, I don't like anything about you, but you're kind of easy on the eyes.
As far as a lifetime total, I wouldn't know. It would have to be just random Pornhub. That's the way to go.
Who have you gone through phases with? And see, that's my point, is like when you get older, it's just going to be random Pornhub. When you're young, right, you're fixated on whoever it is you think is sexy, boys and girls, right? So, I mean, I grew up with Farrah Fawcett, but by the time I got to learn my masturbatory skills, she was kind of in the rear view.
Yeah.
At that point. So I don't know who this woman was. She was just some random model who was on a poster in my bedroom. And man, oh man, we made sweet, sweet love many a night.
No exes, though.
No exes?
I mean.
Come on. Come on.
Everybody does something better than everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a skill set. I mean, there's a reason that a pitcher isn't a catcher. and the catcher's not playing
but
right
you
field,
use them for that
you're still
particular
playing baseball.
scene.
You're still playing baseball. You still got a bat.
Because
But
depending what it is I'm going for, I could definitely pick different ones. Like, that's going to be you.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
everybody's
for sure.
different on different things as far as what you're thinking about at the time. Am I wrong on that?
No. And sometimes it's just a random one you maybe just hooked up with a couple times.
Right. And they look good, and you're like, yeah, I'm going back. Trying to think, man, what about like a celebrity? Because Ted, I would imagine.
Suzanne Summers?
Suzanne Summers, Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey, a ton. Suzanne Summers, Paula Abdul, Rosie Perez, Stifler's mom.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of videos, too. And Paula Abdul's videos were pretty sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. They were. I don't know if I ever masturbated to her, though. I don't think I did. Like, I always thought she was hot. She just never. Janet Jackson popped up here now and again when I was younger.
Oh, back in the day,
sure.
I thought Susanna Hoffs from the Bangles was pretty good looking.
I can't remember her face. Like, I know her name. I know the Bangles. I got to look at it.
Walk like an Egyptian, that chick.
Well, I think you go through phases, too, depending on also who you're with.
Okay. Meaning the opposite of what you're with?
Correct.
Okay.
If you... Let's just say, for instance, you had a penchant for kind of girlier girls with maybe blonde hair and boobs. But if you've jaded that for a while, you might be like, I don't know about, what about this goth chick?
I want a skinny brunette.
Yeah, hell, I go through it every once in a while. You got to throw in that Google search, or the search button. Goth. Try something different.
Ruined my life.
Yeah.
Random.
She's real sad.
Here's someone, Jessica Simpson. But they say Jessica Simpson specifically in the Dukes of Hazzard. That was my daily driver for a long time.
Oh, Jenny McCarthy.
Man, she was huge for a while. Even Britney Spears back in the day.
Oh, Britney still, yeah.
I mean, even now you can
Spice
go there.
Girls.
I wasn't.
Jesus. You know what? Let's just narrow mine down to women that were on MTV from the late 90s to early 2000s.
Female artists that had videos. That's basically it. Hello, Derek. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, Pitola.
Hola. There's that Rico Suave song. There's a lot of hot chicks in that one.
I don't love you, but I need you.
I used to watch a show, Mike, on Univision that was just a
Yep.
dance show. I can't remember if it was Univision or Telemundo, but it would come on Saturday mornings, and I knew what time it started. I didn't know any of the music or what the hosts were saying, but I watched it all the time.
I believe that was Univision, yes.
Yeah.
Hell with that, just watch the weather.
God,
in
no
the morning
kidding.
on the news. in the
Oh,
evening
Dios
on the news.
míos.
Oh, no. Okay, let's go with this one. Have you ever had to deal with a crazy neighbor? Ever had to deal with a crazy neighbor?
I did, yes, sir. At one point, I had a downstairs neighbor. She always had flooding problems, but it wouldn't matter what time of day it was. She'd come up and she'd knock on the door and knock, and you'd answer, and it'd always be a flooding problem.
So, from your unit or just in hers?
Down below, she was on the very low unit.
Well,
The
typically when
lowest
you're
deck.
flood, it's coming from up top.
Yeah.
So what was her problem?
Old plumbing in the building.
And what were you supposed to do about it?
Exactly. Other than help her pick up the mess, I assume.
No.
Well, did that make her crazy, or I mean, was she certifiably nuts, or was this just a problem that she had with her unit?
She definitely is a problem with the whole building at this point now. But no, she was certifiably crazy. For
All right.
sure.
Okay.
So it's just unfortunate that her unit kept flooding because you have to deal with the crazy person every time it happens.
Because I'm the guy above her.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unit.
Well, that's unfortunate for her, but fortunate for you. If that's the craziest neighbor you've ever had, that's not the worst in the world.
It's not the worst, but it still sucks.
Reason we asked if you ever had a crazy neighbor, a Louisiana woman last night forced her way into a neighbor's home and sought to initiate a threesome with a victim and his girlfriend.
Oh.
Dispatched to an 1115 harassment complaint at the apartment complex in Monroe, Louisiana. Patrolman was told by the man that upon answering a knock on his door, an unknown neighbor basically forced her way into the residence. The woman, the victim said, began trying to have sexual activities with him and his girlfriend. Now, while the alleged late-night
I noticed you from across the bar
did not result in any three-way action, the woman did end up in handcuffs. They canvassed the area, located the female at the Circle K down the road.
Yeah.
She was identified as Shadana Hurd. Hurd was arrested and charged with unauthorized...
Shadana Hurd, you want to have sex.
Entry.
I know, come on.
Well, she went down to the Circle K and started looking down there to see if she could find anybody there.
Man.
Do that with two.
And
Anybody want a threesome?
She's still in jail.
She's still in jail.
She's still in jail over the
I
weekend.
mean, I guess it's breaking and entering. Just whatever your motivation, I'm here to have sex
disturbing
with you and your woman.
I mean, right, there's so many jokes about, like, that couple, like, sending drinks to one single woman, like, we noticed you. But, like, I've never heard of somebody busting into a couple's house and be like, threesome, it's on.
Yeah, more of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
New Yorkers and visitors alike are heading to New York City's extraordinary experience that you have to feel to believe. Summit One Vanderbilt, an interactive multi-level experience of art, sky, and exploration. Discover exhilarating heights, explore reflective spaces, walk among floating silver orbs, and immerse yourself in spectacular views of New York. Book your visit at summitov.com and start your journey here.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, we have to reset the phone lines there, so if you're on hold for the random question, call back 206-803-ROCK.
You know, most of the time that we ask a random question, we tell you, hey, man, there's a news story that inspired us to ask the question. So someone here, very fairly, said, what was the reason for the masturbation question? We were just being nosy. Honest to God. Seriously. I think we're outside smoking, and like it hit me last week, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to write it down. There's no story with that. And I tried to do research, like the most masturbated celebrities, and not porn stars and all that, right? But it's funny because they would do different surveys, and it's everyone who you would think, especially on the women's side, because it was like the Ryan Goslings, the Brad Pitts, but this was done in like 2015. What's his face? Who's the guy, Magic Mike?
Oh, yeah. Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, yeah. His movie just come out, so he was high on the list. And for guys, it's exactly what you'd think, too, right? It just ran the gamut from basically every Victoria's Secret model. That's actually a strong one. And I forgot about the Cindy Crawfords, the Adrian Limas.
Sports Illustrated swimsuit.
Oh, for sure,
That was
man.
another good one back in the day.
Yeah. Do they still do the swimsuit edition?
Well, you said they stopped, right? Or did you stop
I
your
stopped
subscription?
my subscription. I'm not sure.
I think they did stop.
Okay, because I mean, like that was the issue.
No, they still got it. Because I think this year was like Patrick Mahomes' wife was in there.
Oh, that's right.
And if you're only going to print one magazine a year, print that one.
That's the one. And you know why?
Or the Super Bowl issue. You know, one of the ones that you know is going to sell, depending on what it is. All right, I'm going to give you guys a random question. Let's see here.
If we need more list of women, I mean, I could keep going.
Well, I can tell you what, man. In the 80s, it got big for Playboy would start soliciting celebrities.
Sure.
To do a photo shoot. So, Vanity, that was a huge one. What's her name? Vanna White.
Another big one?
That was a massive issue. Oh, yeah. And even when I look at her now, and I'm 55 years old, she's out there spinning it. I'm like, yeah, but I remember what you bought it.
I mean, look, sometimes it has to do. I gotta be careful. Sometimes it just has to do with the music you're listening to.
Sure.
Well. So.
Well, in the 80s, between hip hop and rock, there was not an ugly person in any video, right?
Correct. And sometimes maybe, I don't know, you're listening to different stuff. You start searching for people that look like those artists.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give you guys a random question while we get the phone lines figured out there. What basic thing in life would you guys say you would like just someone else to do for you? For whatever reason, it's just like, I hate doing this crap. It's a pain in the butt. What would you, if you could, just a basic thing in life, would you like someone else to do for you?
I got to think on this. Because to be fair, most of the things I truly hate doing, I've already outsourced to my wife. And then in return, the stuff she hates doing, she outsources to me. So even when we're just doing crap around the house, it's like, look, I will clean the kitchen. I will vacuum. I do not want to do laundry. You, on the other hand, don't want anyone to do laundry because we do it wrong, quote unquote. Cool. So up until then, I probably, not even laundry, man, folding the clothes. She has a whole system now she puts on, and she says movies that you would ridicule. In other words, trash where she cries. And she's like, there's lots of sex, and then I boo-hoo at the end, and just folds clothes. And that's how she gets through it. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do to distract me while I'm folding clothes to not hate the idea that I'm folding clothes.
I think Mike and I talk about it all the time. It's like, I don't mind putting the laundry in there.
No,
I don't mind hanging up the shirts I'm going to hang up that I don't keep in the dryer. But, like, just folding the socks and, you're right. I'm just like, God, I hate this.
And I don't know why. It's not hard.
No.
It's just mundane. It's so boring, but I absolutely hate it. Unpacking suitcases. That'd be another good one.
I would say exercise.
Well, sure.
I would like someone else to exercise on my behalf, and then I get all the results without having to do it.
I mean, yeah.
I want you to run 10 miles today, buddy.
But
hit another good hour in the gym there and see how I look at the end.
Yeah.
I would just take a cleaner.
That's not a bad call.
I don't like cleaning, not cooking, as I like to cook and this and that. But, yeah, just like, you want to clean the house? Go ahead.
Okay.
I guess it depends what I'm cleaning. For the most part, I don't mind cleaning, but like bathrooms, like you're just
what about when your daughter blows up the toilet?
I would pay someone to come over. Like, sir, I'm a plumber. You just need a plunger. I understand that, brother. I just don't feel like doing it a fourth time this week. That's all.
What's the average? Once a week?
It's actually gotten a little bit less in this year. So it's not maybe once every 2 weeks. Yeah, things are trending in the right direction. I do not know why. I don't know if it's just her body as she gets older and it makes adjustments, but her diet is roughly the same. But yeah, I got a little older.
I'd also would like to have an administrator that could remind me of dates of things that are important.
I
don't.
I call her my wife.
Yes, and also someone who will buy gifts that are appropriate for the people when necessary.
Once again, I have that. It is the wife.
I am not good at either one of those things. I listen when I'm in relationships as far as what people are interested in and what they like.
Sure.
Try to make a mental note of the things, but it's not something that I can just go out and buy. Like back in the day, it would be like, I want a new bike for triathlons. Well, you just can't go and buy somebody a bike. That's not how that works. It's a very individual thing as far as fitting the bike, getting the one you want, all those things. So also few grand on top of that. So you don't want to make the mistake.
You can take them there to test out all the stuff.
Yes.
Right. But
this is your holiday gift, but I can't just go and buy stuff like that.
Somebody here says, clean gutters and remove the moss from the roof. I hate doing these things.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I got to scrape moss, and I was going to do it this weekend. I was gung-ho to do it this weekend. Then I looked at it and thought, it's the weekend. F it. It's a better chance that I will get it done after work because I'm still in work mode. So if I have crap like that, it's better just get home from work. You're still kind of in that frame of mind. Get it the weekend. I'm like, I'll see you. Yep. You'll still be there later this week.
But I think a lot of these, there's reasons they have that, right? There's reason, like I used to be a landscaper, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, professional buildings are going to have professional landscapers. But even sometimes, people just don't want to mow their lawn.
Nope.
That's why those jobs exist. That's why you have house cleaners and stuff.
Damn right.
Everybody, and not everybody has. You probably could do it if you did it, but it's like, if you could pay somebody else to do it.
Pulling weeds sucks. It kills my legs.
Pulling weeds is the worst.
I hate it.
I don't mind pulling weeds.
I like
Saturday.
I like when I'm done. It looks good. But
today, my legs are freaking killing me. Yeah. And I knew it was going to happen, but here we are.
Reese, we asked, what basic thing in life would you like someone else to do for you? The annual Consumer Electronics Show went down in Las Vegas, and the bathroom brand Kohler was pushing a new bidet that connects to Alexa or Google Home to offer voice-activated butt washing. You heard that right.
Really?
Once she's done washing your butt, you can also ask her to turn on the drying feature to dry off your butt for you. Both features are offered in their Pure Wash E930 model. which retails for the low, low price of $2,149.
To not press a button?
That's not a full toilet. That's just the bidet seat. That is not the toilet.
And literally, the only thing it does is instead of you pressing the button, you just say it, and that's what happens.
It's not totally new. Kohler already offers it in their Numi Smart Toilet. It came out a few years back, but it's supposed to be a more affordable version for the common man. Now, their full toilet option is $11,000 with installation and also has surround sound speakers that you can listen to.
Come on, man. How much time do you spend on the bidet?
Enough to get hemorrhoids.
Random.
Hello, Dennis. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. All right, Dennis, let's see here. Let's go with this one. What was your parents' go-to punishments when you were growing up if you did something wrong? How did they punish you as a kid?
Let's see. Standing in the corner with your nose in it, you know?
Until they said it was time that you could stop?
Yeah, or they forgot.
So you look like the lady at the end of the Blair Witch Project. You're standing in the corner of the room with your back to everyone.
Yeah.
And how long would they make you stand there on average?
Average 20 minutes.
And what typically would you do to get in this kind of trouble? Like what would you need to do to have that punishment? Is this like bad grades or in something that you did?
Yeah, more like stuff that I would do, not so much the grades, like, playing with matches in places where I shouldn't be playing with them, stuff like that.
Okay.
Overall, though, would you say you were a fairly good kid?
For the most part.
With your parents.
Not to get caught.
Hey, man, that's all that matters. Well, I guess that's not all that matters, but I do preach this to my kids, like, look, I know you're going to be up to no good. I know what you and your friends are up to. I get it. The whole thing. If you're caught, that's your ass. Ignorance is bliss. If you don't get caught, I don't know. And it's water under the bridge, man.
Yep.
Right.
Like my dad always said, either be good or be slick. And right now you're neither. I think he said that to me at least 5,000 times in my life.
Reason we asked, what was your parents' go-to punishment? I got grounded a lot and then just beaten with a belt.
Yeah, I mean, you got spanked or grounded. I mean, that's pretty much
it was normally
all it
spanked,
was.
then grounded.
Do you ever get wall sits?
Get what?
Wall sits?
The hell is that?
You know, like when you sit with like in the athletic possession, but your back's against the wall?
No.
Oh, yeah. It was like a common sports punishment. Sometimes we used it in the house, too.
I was going to say, I know that in sports, but really, so your dad would just bring it home and be like, do wall sits.
Yeah.
Wow.
And your legs just burn.
How long?
Probably 30 seconds or a minute, but like...
It's the longest 30 seconds or minute of your life?
Yeah. Right, it's like doing a plank. Like that minute takes forever.
Yep.
What about you, Mike?
Oh, you know, Dad had the belt, and there was three across the
Well,
butt.
yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, we caught whoopings, too.
Oh, yeah.
And then my grandmother, actually, as nice as my grandma was, if you even got close to a curse word, she would put liquid soap in your mouth.
Oh, damn. Liquid soap.
Yeah.
We had a teacher. He was a science teacher. He wasn't very tall. He was probably like 5'6", 5'7".
All right.
And he had the biggest butt that you have ever seen on a white man. He was like Barney Rubble. I don't know how to describe him.
He's like a white Kirby Puckett.
He was just really
white Kirby Puckett.
He had a butt on him, man. I bet his inseam wasn't any more than 24 inches, and his waist might have been 32. But that butt, man, it was huge, right? And he had tree trunks for legs. He was also a tennis instructor and a tennis coach for the high school, but he taught at our middle school. He's in the school system, so he can be a coach.
Yeah.
But we didn't have tennis in middle school.
Sure.
That was a high school sport. So he was the high school tennis coach for both the boys and the girls, all right? And he was a great tennis player, obviously, because he taught tennis he did individual lessons for people, and he was a coach. Well, he had a forearm. It was a pretty strong forearm. And when he whipped you with a paddle, he was so short and squatty, and how he came down, he just hit the back of your legs.
Right.
And he never hit your ass. Ever. And I mean, you want to talk about, I'd rather get hit in the ass than be paddled in the back of the legs.
Yes.
And that's just his forehand, man.
Because my ass has fat on it.
Because, like, I do remember hearing one time outside, like in the hallway, because we're all in the class listening to this. It's like, damn, man, my ass, not my legs. And it's like after the second one. Reason, what was your parents' go-to punishment? Most people have probably heard parents say, watch your mouth or I'll wash it out with soap. But is that just an idle threat these days? A poll asked people if they've ever actually had their parents follow through with washing their mouth out with soap. 12% of people said yes. I've had it done one time.
Really?
One time. And it was Ivory soap. And it tasted terrible.
Did you have a preference? If they said, which bar of soap would you like to use?
Ivory kind of tasted a little bit more powdery in a bar soap kind of way. I can't really describe it.
Right.
It just was grittier.
Okay, that makes sense. What was the one with cocoa butter? That kind of yellow.
Dove.
Was it Dove?
Or Caress or whatever.
No, Dove was white.
It may have been Caress. I don't even know if they make that now. But if you had
Dial
to
had
pick a
that
soap,
yellow. Dial was that yellow bar.
I would not want Dial. No.
They didn't break it down by age, but from the comments, it sounds like it's more of an old school thing. It's not done much anymore. One person says, my mom tried to do it with my sister, and she bit down on the bar and swallowed part of it.
Ew.
My mom completely panicked, and that was the last time that happened. Another joke joked, soap actually tastes pretty good, from what I can remember.
Somebody here says, if we cursed, we'd either get cayenne pepper on the tongue or scrape our teeth over the bar of soap. Someone else says, my grandmother was Mexican. When we used to say curse words, she'd make us bite into a jalapeno.
Okay. More ways that parents discipline their kids. According to a Brookings article, 26% of men between the ages of 18 and 59 have been spanked or slapped by a parent as a child. I fall into that category. Mm-hmm. Additionally, 86% of Americans say they were spanked as a child, and baby boomers being the most likely to have spanked, followed by mature people and Gen Xers at 87%. One thing that I was fortunate enough to never have to deal with was punishing my children in that form or fashion.
I'm not ready to lay a hand on my kid.
No, that was one thing I promised myself that I would never do to my own child when I was a kid getting beaten.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Did you make that decision then?
I made that decision way back then, that I would never, grounding, sure, whatever, no, but never laying a hand. And as far as being grounded, how long are people usually grounded? It depends on their age and what they've done. But as a rule of thumb, if they are 6 to 10 years old, 24 hours, they say, should be long enough to be grounded.
That is a painful 24 hours for the entire family.
But if they're 11 through 17, a few weekends or a week should be enough. So they say, one guy said he was 13. He filled the family car with gazpacho and grounded by his parents up until the age of 18. 5 years is the longest grounding reported.
I mean, that's a pretty... Filling a car full of... I mean, basically, you ruined the car.
Well, now that he survived it, it's probably worth it. Like, you filled the car with gazpacho.
And for a teenager, I mean, I remember I didn't get in a ton of trouble, but if I couldn't go out for a weekend, it just seemed like the longest weekend.
Oh, it's because all of your friends.
Yeah.
Because your friend, is everyone doing it? You're like, yeah, literally everyone's doing this except me.
Yeah.
Because I effed up and you caught me. Hello, Connor. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Connor, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, let's go with this one. Connor, if you had a secret that you needed to tell someone, who would you confide in?
I'd probably let my best friend know, or my dad.
Your best friend or your dad?
Okay.
Are you dating anyone?
Not at the moment.
Okay. What if you were married?
I'd hope so.
You'd hope that you would be. Yeah. It depends on the secret.
Depends, because you know who they're going to tell.
Right? Okay, well, interesting that you would say your best friend or your dad. So you no females out there, would you you wouldn't tell your mom or anybody?
I mean, my mom might slide in there, but
don't worry, your dad will tell your mom.
It depends on the secret. If I'm hiding a secret, it's definitely got to be somebody I 100% trust.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you had any secrets that you tried to or had to hide in your lifetime?
I got a few.
Okay. I think we all do. I mean, you kept quiet about the kidnapping for years.
Yeah, because that's a felony.
All right.
That was more, it was like self-preservation, not so, well, now that you wanted everyone to know. But me and Leon agreed, like, look, bro, and we were wrong. Because there is no statute of limitations on kidnapping, we found out. But, you always get legal advice from your stupid friends. And we did. And it's, 7 years. But honest to God, for 7 years, we didn't talk about it. We didn't bring it up. Nobody knew. Then we blurted it, and that's when an actual lawyer was like, there's no statute of limitations. I'm like, then take that off the record. I said nothing. Nothing.
I mysteriously got a really nice Alpine stereo for my car when I was 17 years old and still living at home.
Mysteriously, yes.
Mysteriously, huh?
Yes. And I kept that quiet for a long time because it was just...
Did you already know what you're going to deal with, right?
It was at a used car lot, and it was a similar car to mine. It was a Volkswagen. But if you know anything about taking the dashboard off of a Volkswagen and the front covering pieces, in this particular model, it was all in one piece. That includes the stick shift middle console, too.
Yeah.
So there was a whole lot more than that radio coming out. Like, I'm pretty sure I threw the whole front dash of a car into the back of my trunk before I took that home. Then had to figure out a way to dispose of said dashboard.
What did you do with it?
I threw it away to a dumpster. But all I wanted to do was, it was kind of bolted on the back. There was like this safety plate to keep you from stealing the stereos.
Yeah, and obviously that worked.
So then, of course, me being the genius that I am, I installed this thing. I'm a professional. I know how to ground it. I got this thing. This is a great radio. I've got new speakers that I've already put in. I bought those. Had this radio, man. For whatever reason, I tried 25 times. I could not figure out the proper way to ground this radio. So every single time, and I'm sure you've been in this car before, if you're of my age, when it was a stick shift. Whenever you revved it up, these speakers also had the sound of the engine, like, and the radio the entire way. Okay. Reason we asked if you had a secret you needed to tell someone, who would you confide in a new poll? 32% of people say their spouse or partner knows the largest number of their secrets. 18% say a best friend knows the most. 11% say, I don't have any secrets. When broken down by gender, men are more likely to confide in a partner or a parent, while women, they're going to share their secrets with their best friend or their sister only.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Not their mom. Women are also slightly more likely to confide in a child if it's one of their children. The breakdown was similar when they asked...
I'm assuming of a certain age. I can't call my kids into the room. I guess. I killed a man in Reno.
Yeah, right. Well, who are you going to talk to first in that situation if you have a personal problem or breakdown? And when asked who knows the best, 41% of people said, you know what, they would go to their partner, while the most popular answer was, again, going to their dad for men, going to their best friend or sister for women.
Okay.
I feel like I'd go to my brother.
Yeah, so it all
even
kind of
when my dad was still alive. Like, there's certain things I would tell Chris that I wouldn't tell my dad, and frankly, he would tell everybody.
Who? Your dad?
Oh my God, he was the worst.
Who would he run to first? Your mom?
No, he would just
anyone who would listen.
Right, or you'd be something that you're just talking to your dad about, and then like a week later, my brother would be like, did this happen? And I'm like, how do you know that? And I'm like, well, he told everybody at the tailgate.
Jesus God.
It's like, come on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, we have the best airlines in the United States, one category, and the top 10 soups. And we have your emails coming up next. The Men's Room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic, with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
So you may uncover
from the manifestations in the mouth, right?
Yeah. Correct. All manifestations lead you to the diagnosis of, wait a second, maybe this person is type 2 diabetic.
Dental sound bites, created for dentists by dentists.
I can't take the drug because I've got this organ damage. What do I do now? Well, These people need a hero.
Wow, I have no idea. I don't know any of these guys.
We can never discount the role that dentists play in good healthcare, not just oral healthcare as well.
Dental Soundbites.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime. Made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
What's up? Well, it's what's down that's got my attention.
Oh?
Yeah, look at that long snake.
Snake? Oh, traffic. Those are cars.
I know they're cars. I'm being metaphorical. If I were a human, I'd ride that Bel Air airport or shuttle. Look at it. It gets you to SeaTac quickly. You can sleep, look out the window, be productive, and it's in the HOV. Hey, maybe it stands for heading on vacation.
Bel Air Airport or Shuttle with 8 round trips daily. Click airporter.com to book your trip today.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
You want to go see Aerosmith? November 24th, Climate Pledge Arena. We have the secret word. The word that you need to text to 206-803-ROCK. That would be dude. Dude. As in dude looks like a lady. You see? Aerosmith tickets right now. Text dude to 206-803-ROCK. Okay, do we have time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com?
You've got mail.
Celebrating the birthdays of Boo Bitches, can I get a birthday shout out to my daughter Trinity, who is 16 years old today? How about a little kid fish sandwich, some dad jokes from Miles, and a little inspirational speech from Coach Ted? Thanks, guys, and love the show. That from Dad, Mom, and her big bro. All right. I'll give you a couple jokes here. Trinity? I have a couple of sock puppets for sale.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Anyone interested in taking these off my hands?
Oh, all right.
Ted, what's it called when 2 Rachels get married?
I don't know. What is it?
It's an interracial marriage. And do any of you guys have any jokes about hotels?
I don't.
I was hoping we could share it to a couple. To the guy who stole my antidepressants. Hope you're happy. I like that one.
All right, Trinity, you're 16. Driving's a serious responsibility. Like I said last week, unfortunately, you're going to hit something. Stay at the scene. Second of all, that one girl that's annoying in class, if she's in the back seat, she's going to be just as annoying. Don't give her a ride. She will distract you. Other than that, finish out to high school strong. You get to college, you'll have some fun, but we got 2 years left. Let's buckle down.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's once again time to wish Marshawn Lynch and myself a very happy 38th birthday. This does mean I'm out of my prime, but I'll get back in my prime when I turn 41. Sorry for the math joke. Guys, today my coffee maker melted. The shower was lukewarm. Took my bike to the shin while heading out the door, and several things just stopped working at work. So for me, it was a normal day. So may I get Coach Ted talking about the greatest tool known to man, duct tape. That from Swagger.
All right, Swagger, you asked Coach Ted the right thing. Why? It's massive in my family. My Uncle Tim had a minivan. How long did he have his minivan? I don't know. I know this much. He didn't know payments on it, and there was a lot of duct tape all over that thing. One of the goddamn lights was stuck on with duct tape. I think to this day, he's still got that van. It's outlasted Boomer, who was a dog. It's outlasted. He's got grandkids now. And that van held together by duct tape.
He still has that van.
He had an Astro van.
Good.
I kid you.
God.
I mean, I think he finally got rid of it, but it was like a joke. I mean, people that know my family would be like, "Your Uncle Tim still got that damn van."
Have you seen the new deal with everybody taping their cars up when they crash them?
What?
It's not duct tape. It's a different kind of tape, but it's like holding their fender up, holding their bumper together. You haven't seen this yet?
I mean, it's got to be out there because they use it in NASCAR. They use it in F1.
They use it on airplane wings. I mean,
that's comforting. That's comforting.
Yeah.
His big thing was he took red or clear tape. So I guess it wasn't duct tape.
Right.
And put it where the light was going to be, then painted it red.
Damn,
Ooh,
come on, man.
That's high.
How much is a new headlight for an Astro van? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes just bite the bullet.
I mean, he still lives in the hood in Riverdale and refuses to leave. He's like, "This is where I live."
Okay.
Guys, my wonderful husband Phil has a birthday today. He'd love a shout out on the show. Longtime listener and all around great guy. He wanted some random sound effects. Can't remember what they are, so dealer's choice. Thanks, guys. That from Leanne.
Uh-oh, look out.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant on the line for Your Guess is As Good as Mine. Now, call now. 206-803-ROCK. As Your Guess is As Good as Mine. Coming up right after a couple extra emails here involving Men's Room IPA from Black Raven Brewing. Hopefully you've got a chance to try this delicious beer that benefits our friends at the 3 area Fisher Houses. Guys, some locations. Craft Beers in Auburn, Washington.
Nice work.
Right.
Thank you, Craft Beers.
The Men's Room IPA.
They also make fine slices of cheese. Little known fact.
Guys, the Sunset Ale House has it on tap. It is delicious. The Sunset Ale House in Issaquah.
Issaquah, yep.
Great spot, man. I love that bar.
That's from Tracy, the general manager. Tracy, thank you for putting that on. We appreciate it.
Very cool of you to do, man.
Yep. Guys, a shout out to Poorhouse Pete's Incarnation and Poorhouse in North Bend.
All right.
On in both locations. Selling really well. Thanks, guys. That is awesome.
Yeah, man, put the beer on. Let people enjoy it. It's a good beer. And again, you're doing good.
We have been to the Poorhouse in North Bend.
I know we have.
Many times.
I know we have.
Before live day, typically, or the night before.
I know. Well, if it's the night before, things end poorly. If it's day of, well, things get poor later. Yeah.
Pretty good picks in there, too. Guys, found at a grocery outlet in Lake Stevens. And here's some pictures of the IPA. Man,
grocery outlet, bargain market.
I've been to the Poorhouse myself.
They got a great display in there. And they have great pizza in there. Let's see, bitches. T-Bone and I are out and about in Redmond before birthday dinner at El Gaucho.
Oh, nice.
I played your birthday message to him, and he loved it. I was telling him about the IPA, and he mentioned that there's a Black Raven Brewery nearby. So here we are at the Black Raven Brewery.
Nice.
I'm not a hops guy, but this beer is fantastic. Thanks, guys. That from the Sugar Schnack. Sent that to us on Friday. Guys finally found some at the Freda Safeway in a pretty pathetic display because there's not that many left. That's a good thing, right? Sell as many as we can. All the Naked Ladies, the Men's Room IPA has been found in North Spokane, Total Wine and More.
Nice.
Picked up 2 of the 3 six-packs they had left. Thanks for all you do and making my work days enjoyable. That from Mark in Meade, Washington.
Total Wine hooking it up makes me feel good. Hey, right? 'Cause for years, I never wanted to go because I just hear wine. I'm like, I'm out. My wife finally went and said, dude, I don't think you understand. The and more applies to you. Now that's like going to the Playboy Mansion for me. So the idea that our beer is there makes me so happy.
All the guys, both Safeways in Port Orchard, have the Men's Room IPA. That from Ryan in Port Orchard, and one more. Guys, got the new stuff out here in Sequim, Washington. Safeway, yippee, cheers. That from Captain Ron.
Total Wine and More does have and more.
It should be and more and wine.
Right.
Seriously, because I never wanted to go because of the name. There's one down the street, Ted, you know where it's at. And so my wife's like, dude, just go with me. And very begrudgingly, fine. I thought it'd have like 2 whiskeys and a bunch of wine. She couldn't get me out of there. And she's like, okay, I found what I want. I'm like, I'm not done looking.
And they're knowledgeable.
They all know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm the only one that looked like a weirdo when the guy's like, can I help you? And nope, just seeing if there's beer here. I realized how dumb that must have sounded to him.
Yes. It did, I promise you.
Do we have a contestant ready to play Your Guess Is As Good As Mine?
We do. And Ted, you know who it is. James, welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
James, welcome to the program. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay, your categories, James. We have the 10 most popular soups in the good old US of A. Okay? And we have the best airlines in America. They compared the 9 largest U.S. airlines and 1 regional character across 13 metrics. Cost, delays, cancellations, injuries, entertainment options, legroom. The most comfortable go to Delta Airlines and JetBlue Airways.
I don't think I ever fly Delta or JetBlue.
I fly Delta if I'm headed east.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because typically I'll end up in the Atlanta airport on my way to Florida, whatever. Most reliable airline this year, that would be Delta Airlines.
All right, Delta.
The most affordable, Spirit Airlines. And the safest, believe it or not, same as the most affordable. That would be Spirit Airlines. So, James, you want to go with the best airlines in America or the best soups in the U.S. of A.?
Oh, let's go soups.
Soups for James. All right, James, you know how the game is played. You get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out.
James, are you a soup eater, drinker, however it is you actually consume soup yourself?
I do like some soup, and yes, I can cook some soup myself.
All right.
Okay. All right, you know how the game is played, James. Try to get as many right in the category before 3 strikes and you're out.
And Miles, you said this already.
Sorry, Chad, go for it.
It's all soups, right? Like bisque, all that stuff.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Good call. Good call.
All right, James, what do you think?
Let's go classic chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodle soup is number 1 by far. That has been the most popular soup in the United States of America for over 50 years.
I believe that. My question to you fellas is, do you think that's just because it's kind of the first soup you have as a kid? It's not bad.
I think it's still one of the best.
It's always fine. Is it? Would you rate it in your top 5?
Homemade chicken noodle soup is one of the greatest things.
I don't dislike it. So before I get the hate, I don't dislike it. But when it comes to soup, like that's the
standard.
It's the standard.
It's vanilla ice cream.
What's that?
It's vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, you know what? Exactly.
It's your French dip.
That's fair. That's fair. Right. If you can't do this right,
you're not
chicken broth. It's just good.
Like the place that used to be downstairs. How in the hell do you F up soup?
But they found a way.
They messed up chicken noodle soup.
Have you ever eaten soup where the noodles in the soup are also dry? No. In spite of all the liquid that's in your mouth, I'm like, this is like fundamentally remarkable, but it's awful to eat.
All right, James, you got 1 for 1 there. Chicken noodle is number 1. What's your next guess?
Let's go clam chowder.
Clam chowder number 4 on the list of the most popular soups here in the United States of America.
I do like a clam chowder. But man, all that cream, I basically would just poop myself.
You ever got the clam salmon chowder? Where they put a little bit of both in there. A little bit of salmon, a little bit of clam. Oh, man, that's good.
I also have never had the red clam chowder.
I like it. I like it, man.
Yeah, Manhattan's good. Yep. All right, James, where are you at?
How about tomato soup?
Yes. Number 2 on the list.
Come on.
The second most popular soup in America.
Would it be the second most popular if grilled cheese did not exist? Okay, thank you.
Either that or a good saltine.
I was saying basically it's a dip.
No, still, it's a fine soup.
It's fine, but would you just eat a bowl of it? Yeah.
No.
Check. All right, James, you're 3 for 3 so far. No strikes against you. You got clam chowder, tomato, and chicken noodle correct.
Let's go with wedding soup.
Wedding soup, meaning?
Italian wedding soup?
Yeah, there's the
Italian wedding soup.
What's the technical name for it, really?
That's the only thing I've heard
that's
called.
That's what it's called.
It is, but there's the closest thing to it that you know. So wedding soup is not on the list, but there is a soup that is essentially the same exact components as that.
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know.
Soup?
What's that?
Sausage potato soup? I know. That's the only.
I mean, Italian wedding soup is what it's called, though, right?
That's my understanding, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so what's your guess, James?
I'm going to stick with the Italian wedding soup, even though it's obviously not right.
No, not right.
Let's go.
There's lobster bisque. There's French onion. Now I'm just saying what I like.
Split pea and ham.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go with French onion.
French onion's number 7.
7?
Number 7.
That is number 1.
So far, you've in my mind, too.
Number 1 in my heart.
You've got 4 out of the 10, James. 1 strike against you. French onion at 7 is correct. Clam chowder at 4, tomato 2, and chicken noodle number 1.
How about a good old minestrone soup?
Minestrone's number 3.
Yeah.
That is the closest that I think technically Italian wedding soup is.
You think?
Okay.
I would disagree.
They're both Italian, but Italian wedding soup is a specific soup.
Yeah, it is. That's a fact. It's got beans in it.
Christ, what was I just thinking?
I like Ted's split pea and ham. I think that's a solid choice.
Oh, yeah, let's do split pea and ham.
Number 6.
Yeah, that's a great
Split
soup.
pea is a great soup. It feels like you're a baby eating it, but you know what I mean? No, now you know why babies eat crushed peas.
Because the chew 'em is awful, and they don't make baby food with ham hocks.
All right.
That's a good guy.
You got 6 out of the 10, James. There are 4 soups remaining. One is specific to one city in particular, and that city only. And that city exists in the South. But they are famous for this soup that includes often okra.
Oh, is that
jambalaya?
Jambalaya is not a soup.
No, it's the other one. It's gumbo.
Gumbo?
Gumbo is a soup, yes.
I'd say gumbo, dude. James.
Gumbo?
Hey.
Did you say gumbo or no?
I did say gumbo.
Okay, number 10.
There you go.
All right.
Don't be a Dumbo.
One
Vote
is
for
very,
gumbo.
James, one is very popular here in Seattle and on the West Coast. Not as popular on the East Coast, but it is gaining traction as far as, this is more a
Pho?
Pacific Rim soup, so to speak.
I would guess pho, yeah.
Yeah, let's go pho.
Number 9. Okay.
See, when you were talking about chicken soup earlier, Thrill, that's what I was saying. It's basically American pho, right? It's just chicken broth.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Is pho picking up on the East Coast? Because I'll be honest, until we moved to Seattle, I'd never heard of pho, which is why we called it pho.
Right.
And then people said it was pho, and I'm like, I'm going to order a place and call it King and just put it all together. But,
all right, James, going to give you another hint because you've only got 2 left. The next soup's stock is often more used in recipes than it is as an actual dish for soup. The stock of this soup is more used in recipes than it is actually eaten as a soup.
Like a bone soup?
So the one thing coming to my mind, man, there could be like lobster bisque because they use the lobster
shells
and everything, and you put that in other dishes.
Or is like cream of mushroom technically
ooh,
a soup?
That might be it, Mike. I think you nailed it.
Cream of mushroom. Would it be like a ham hock kind of soup? Or?
No, but think about cream of mushroom soup. Like, very few people eat cream of mushroom soup, but I feel like there's 40 recipes where cream of mushroom dips and all the rest of that crap.
Let's go cream of mushroom.
Number 8. All right, James, you're 9 of 10. You've got 1 strike against you. There is 1 soup left because you have only 1 strike and there's only 1 answer left. I'm not going to give you a hint. Well, okay, I'll give you a hint. This vegetable seems to only be used for this one particular soup. I have never had it any other way than in soup. It seems like the only reason that this strange-looking vegetable is there is to be put into soup.
Is it like some sort of a squash soup, maybe?
There are 2 main ingredients in this. There's 2 main ingredients. One is a standard vegetable. The other one is a vegetable that only typically is found in soup for whatever reason. And I don't know why.
2 main ingredients.
Cream of squash?
Butternut squash?
Yeah.
All right. You got one more guess, man. All right. So you're saying this vegetable primarily. Mm-hmm. And is it in the name of the vegetable?
It is in the name.
Ooh, what if it's like a potato soup?
It is. Half of the ingredients are potatoes.
Right. So it's potato and
onion?
No. You are on track.
Potato and leek?
Leek. I bet you it's leek, dude. Yeah, it's got to be.
Let's go potato and leek.
You got it, James. There you go. All right. That's correct. What else do we use leeks for? Tell me. Maybe I'm ignorant.
Garnish.
I know what I'm saying as far as cooking goes.
I'm with you. I think it's just used to
cook with it much, but a lot of your, not even a lot, but some of the like chicken salad, shrimp salad, tuna salad recipes, they'll dice up leeks really fine. That's kind of oniony tasting.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, they show up here and there, but you're right. Not a ton. Not as prevalent as potato and leek.
Yeah.
10 most popular soups in the U.S. coming in at number 10, gumbo, followed by pho at 9, cream of mushroom at 8, 7 is French onion, split pea 6, potato leek at 5, 4 clam chowder, 3 minestrone, 2 tomato, number 1, chicken noodle soup.
The vanilla ice cream, as Mike says, of the soup world.
Popular soups in the U.S.
Pizza starters cheese.
Yeah.
Coming up, we will drink a toast with the shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance, too, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
Looking for a job is lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish into thin air. What if you could link with dozens of local companies who are hiring right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. Find us at expresspros.com. One connection, endless opportunities, and no fees ever for job seekers. Express Employment Professionals. expresspros.com.
So you may uncover
from the manifestations in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
correct. All manifestations lead you to the diagnosis of, wait a second, maybe this person is type 2 diabetic.
Dental sound bites, created for dentists by dentists.
I can't take the drug because I've got this organ damage. What do I do now? Well, these people need a hero.
Wow, I have no idea. I don't know any of these guys.
We can never discount the role that dentists play in good healthcare, not just oral healthcare as well.
Dental sound bites.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, couple of minutes. We'll drink a toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. A company in Japan has just released the world's first recycled diaper brand.
I saw that.
They call it a horizontal recycle because they are literally taking diapers that have been used, sterilizing them, and then putting them back on the shelves.
Good. I got no problem with that. That makes sense.
When I was a kid, we did use cloth diapers at one point. I think
a lot of people use them at one point.
Right. I only know that because we kept them as rags later on. Well, I don't know.
I get it.
I don't know how bad they got, dude. All I know is that we used them for rags later on.
I'll be honest with you, man. Once you're a parent, your kids have pooped on you and everything else, you'll just use it as a rag.
Right.
No part of me does not have their blood, vomit, pus, poop, pee, you name it. Like, it's all over me.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, recycled diapers, good, man. Well, they figured out a way to do that.
You bet. New research suggests Metformin, the diabetic drug, has anti-inflammatory effects that may protect against common age-related diseases. Talking about like heart disease, cancer, cognitive decline.
All right. It's amazing that, 50 years of research for all of these things as it relates to your age and knowing, what's in front of us. And then it always seems to be something that was not designed to address that.
Absolutely.
Is the thing.
Right.
We do all this research, and I get it. Keep doing the research, and we can't quite figure it out, and we get a little closer. There's almost a breakthrough. It's like Ozempic.
Right.
I was looking for this weight loss crap. Like, well, that's not what it's about. Viagra. Well, giving you an erection is not what it was about. But They go, this is the best side effect that happens the most often. Let's just repackage.
That's one of the bonuses of science.
Sure.
Right? Like,
so many things have
right, like the space program. Without it, we wouldn't really have a microwave.
Right.
You wouldn't have everyone bitches about the space program, and I'm always like, look, you don't have to be interested in space. I get that, but what is spent there out of our budget is so negligible. But if you go and find out what you would not have as a direct result of that, your mind would be blown.
Absolutely.
And I promise you'd be the people that say, well, I couldn't live without that. It's like, all right, well, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. So you send people to an extreme situation, you come up with better ideas.
Correct.
And then you find a way to use them here on Earth. Like I said, the microwave, Velcro, you name it, man, all this crap.
And it's a constant practice. As technologies get better, yet again, just like we're seeing here, you find different applications for things that are now being cycled out of whatever it was that they were at.
But the thing with medication that cracks me up is most of the time, that means, we do our case studies, we do our field studies.
Sure.
So we got 1,000 volunteers. We tried this. Think about Viagra. It was supposed to lower your blood pressure, I believe, or regulate it. And they go, look, doc, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's maybe 50% on that.
No, it's real good on that.
99% of all of the men that have taken this, including elderly gentlemen,
right,
they've had an erection for the first time. And they go, F their blood pressure.
Right.
Say it's about the D.
Yeah, doc, I got high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Well, the weight loss drugs are diabetic medications.
Exactly.
Exactly.
A millionaire YouTuber who made himself broke and homeless to prove that anybody can make $1 million within a year pulled the plug on the social experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah?
10 months, having only made $64,000, citing health issues.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why being homeless sucks, dumbass. Not anyone can do anything. A lot of people can do a lot of things, but not everyone can do anything.
And you've already made $1 million at YouTube. Like, you're good at something.
That's the thing.
So it's like, right, like, what are you trying to prove and to who?
Exactly.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Like, I've been homeless. I did not come from millions of dollars. Like, it sucks.
Sure.
And it's dangerous. And your health definitely deters. Like, there's a reason why most people don't volunteer to do that.
Exactly.
And the only people that do come from so much money that they know they can bounce back on the flip side.
Right. And I read a little bit into it, and, within a short amount of time, he found somebody that trusted him to move into his place so that he could, basically operate a business from out of there where he was getting tables and reselling them on Craigslist or something like that, or he was facilitating doing whatever. It's like, okay, how many days were you out there on the streets when you got taken in? Okay, yeah. Sit there for a few months.
I mean, that's the thing. If you know you can get out of it, it's a different experience. There was a woman, I don't remember who it was, but it's years ago. One of the local news channels, labeled the homeless, she was going to do it for a week. She made it a night.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, you have a camera crew with you. You have security with you. Yeah. You actually have money to go to a restaurant and buy something. Like, if you can't handle basically urban camping for a night, just don't. There's a reason why no one's happy to be out there.
Right. And you can pull the plug at any point that you want to as well. Don't forget, you always have that safety net. He didn't give up his riches. Right. He didn't give up his house.
Right. He just tried to, quote unquote, live homeless.
Exactly.
And she couldn't handle it. I'm like, but you have a job that's paying you upper 5 figures, man.
Right.
You're okay and you can't handle it.
Right. When things get tough, you always have the ability to go. So you can also take more risks as well.
That's it.
Ta-da.
Yeah. One night. Like, Jesus.
Criminy, man. Well, to change things, honestly, I don't know how to make a segue for this, but have you guys ever met somebody that maybe did something a little bit inappropriate at a funeral?
Inappropriate at a funeral?
Inappropriate at a funeral.
All right.
I do not.
Who knew that there was etiquette at a funeral?
Oh, maybe.
In fact, there's a list.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 things you should never do at a funeral. For me, it's quite possible that at the reception after my father's funeral at this little Italian place, I may have over-imbibed a bit too much. It's also quite possible that I hit on more than one person. I couldn't tell you if they were restaurant staff, patrons, or at the funeral. What are you going to do? I was grieving and looking for a little piece of sympathy. Something. Don't get your panties in a wad. It didn't work, okay?
Sympathy, something.
Yeah. I mean, the weirdest one I saw, and these were kind of distant relatives of mine, is after they lowered the casket, they sat there with coolers, crushed beers, and threw the empties on top of their mom.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh. Either they really hated her or mom said, hey, do the thing I know you to do. But either way, man, that had to be jarring to see.
Well, you know what, Ted? I think if you made an early exit, that would almost be apropos. Let's crush one more for the guy.
Yeah, like they didn't think anything of it. That's just what they did in their garage. They would all get together. I think one of them still lived at home with the mom, so when she passed away, it just was weird to see them like truck out coolers. And I mean, they sat there for hours. Like how they didn't get thrown out is beyond me. They sat there for hours and just crush them up, toss them on mom.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I reached into the casket to check out my grandfather's wrist because the way he was the way he was laying, he was thumbs up, like his hands were to his side.
Yeah.
So thumbs up, and he wore his watch on his left hand, and the way the casket was placed, its head to the left. So I couldn't see the watch face. Here's what I've learned about grabbing a dead person's arm. If you twist the arm,
you're now holding their hand.
It springs back. Into the position it was in before, quickly, like bang.
Yes,
and you're like, that's my watch.
I don't remember. It's not inappropriate, but my
That was
uncle,
inappropriate.
my drunk uncle,
Your drunkle?
my drunkle, when his grandmother, my great grandmother, died, and they were super close, and she died at like 4 million years old, but open casket, whatever. And everyone goes up, and when he walked by, he kissed her on the forehead, which is fine, and I get it, but there's an audible not like like ooh. I looking at my brother like, damn, bro, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Maybe blow her a kiss.
Things that you should never do at a funeral. Yeah. At the bottom of the list, they say wearing bright or flashy jewelry. It says the attire and accessories chosen should reflect the somber and respectful nature of the event. Wearing bright or flashy jewelry can be perceived as distracting or disrespectful, drawing attention away from.
What if they're Italian?
Yeah, I mean, what do you? That's everybody.
Hey, what am I going to not wear my gold chain or my watch at its funeral?
People got to know. Neglecting to offer condolences. It says even if expressing condolences feels uncomfortable, it's important to overcome this hesitation as it plays a critical role in the grieving process.
I think at a funeral, that is the safest place for you to do that.
Well, and I feel like just as much as a funeral is saying goodbye to the departed, it's also kind of that moment that you have with whoever is directly affected and left behind in that situation to kind of get that you just lost this person out of the way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Nobody wants to be the guy whose mom died. It's like, okay, well, you have to be that in order to not be that. So going to the funeral and getting that, hey, dude, I'm sorry this happened, takes that off the table for any future engagements.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I also think it depends on your family. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, it wasn't odd. We were going to have my dad's viewing on a Sunday. So it wasn't odd that we all got together for a Maryland tailgate the day before. Like, my brother was like, we're going to tailgate.
That's exactly what your dad would want.
And then,
and you know that.
And the funeral home, if you've been through this process, unfortunately, like when you're close family, they'll be like, hey, is there anything we can do? And me and my brother were like, we got to greet people for 3 hours. We're like, hey, you put on NFL in the other room. And the guy was like, are you serious? We're like, we're dead serious.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
like, oh, yeah. And me and Chris, every 20 or 30 minutes, I'd be like, your shift. And he'd go over to the next room, just kind of chill out, watch a little bit of football. I think we had on Red Zone.
Right. Because that day sucks, and you don't want to do it at all. And it's a little distracting.
Yeah.
Damn it. Eating or drinking. It is advisable to refrain from eating or drinking during the funeral service. As
Eat or drink. It's not like a movie. I got dum-dums and popcorn,
well,
brother.
at the end of it, you typically do have.
Yeah, there's something to
You
do.
do have a party.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
If it's on site, it's on site. If not, I mean, that's part of the.
I have never seen
festivities.
eating.
If you're that hungry, grab a Cliff Bar in the car before you get in there, man. Damn.
Miles is right, though.
I'm sorry. There's food at every funeral I've been to.
You know what? I'm going to open a funeral home that also offers concessions.
It's the same as a wedding, okay? You go there for the celebration of life or of marriage, and then you eat and you drink and you have fun.
Yes.
That's every funeral I've ever been to.
Absolutely. That's the part.
That seems to be normal. Why wouldn't you want that for your family members?
Right. Things you should never do
No,
at a
you're not
funeral.
eating. You're not eating.
Starve.
Look,
Look, I'll be honest. Sometimes funeral food's better than wedding food.
Man, you're not wrong.
People, and then typically
Because the funeral people will get the food that this person loves.
Also, and there's another tray for the family to take home.
Right.
So, like the manicotti thing or whatever. There's typically more. What?
I never got any.
Well, that's because typically a tray goes home to the family.
No, I know. It was at my grandma's house. All those greedy bastards ate it all before I could get there.
And you've never had that manicotti again, ever?
No,
she died.
She passed on.
And she didn't keep the recipe.
No, she didn't pass it on.
Her last name, Lucian. That's, it ends in a vowel. This was going to be good manicotti.
It ends in a vowel.
You'll never have it again.
Bringing uninvited guests. It's important to respect the wishes of the grieving family by not bringing guests who were not explicitly invited to the funeral service.
Who else wants to go?
It's my girlfriend right now.
All right, I guess I would throw, though. If I had a friend that said, yeah, if you really want to go, you can go, I'd be like, you know what?
I don't.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to
You
go.
have that time. Talking during services.
Yeah, that's
Again.
right. Yes.
Say it again, player.
Preach.
Yeah, I guess if they have to put on this list, these things happen. But to me, right, man, look, a funeral, even if you didn't know the person well, this is the time to sit the F down and shut the F up.
Right.
That's all you got to do for like an hour, and then we'll eat.
Hey, man, Hawks up by 3.
Okay. To be fair, I've been to one funeral where that information had to get around. And no one was being mean. It's not that.
It was just bad timing.
It's an NFL Sunday, and it was like late November. So the playoff pictures like coming into shape and stuff. So everyone there loved the person who had died, but there was definitely, hey, brother, Tremendo, in front of you. We're up by 13, but it's on the third quarter, so you have to lean up. Hey, man, I don't mean to bug you. We're up by 13. But like they'd pat your hand, like, good looking out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember checking on that game. The Seahawks beat the Lions.
There we go.
A wild game.
It's crazy.
It was. And then my cousin's one husband, I said, man, were you that close to my dad? You're taking this hard. He's like, nah. Frickin' Ravens blew a game.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I'm just like, God, Joe is really, because now it's post.
You're so upset.
Now we're back at the house. I've had a couple pops. I'm like, man, like, kind of impressive how serious Joe is right now. And he's like, I don't know why we went for it on 4. I was like, all right, I don't want to hear about it.
Using your phone. However, what we just mentioned.
Come on.
I mean, yeah. Just come on. Give us a minute here. Give us a minute. Dressing inappropriately. Wearing casual or overly flashy clothing to a funeral can be seen as lacking respect for the deceased and their loved ones.
I didn't know him that well. I worked with him 2 days a week, man. I never really got to know him. So.
No, it's cool, man. I'm just here for the food.
Yeah. I come up with a bib and your own fork and knife.
Yeah.
So when do we eat?
Hey, can we just break into that? Like,
while you're talking, would you mind if I eat some of that manicotti?
But the number one thing that you should never do,
there's always cold cuts
at a funeral, and it's being late.
Yep.
Okay. Also, side note, for those that are late, can we get like churches and funeral homes that have quieter damn doors into the parlor? Right.
Although, to be fair, if you're going to be late for a wedding or a funeral, I would suggest the funeral.
Yeah.
You cannot hurt this person's feel. Everyone else will look down on you, but the wedding is like, well, they
I
know.
just missed him.
Look,
I know.
Batman and Jolene will be late for their own.
No, guaranteed.
I thought they passed away. No, they're still on their way here. They can't get here in time.
No, dude, he died in 2021.
I would also say, because I've witnessed this one, you know if you're a boozer, like a boozer.
Oh, yeah.
Don't show up and be the most emotional person at the viewing when you're not even family.
Right.
Oh, Lord. That sounds personal.
It was. We literally had to walk a guy out.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So I was like, God damn it, Harry. You get blacked out drunk every day. Like, all we're asking is, like, you didn't even know him that well.
Right. Can't spare this time.
I'm sad.
Right. He's like, just flowing, Mike. Really?
Yeah. None of the rest of us are even.
He was having a hard day. No one even missed this guy.
Right. I was shocked he was even there.
So was he.
Yeah. He probably don't even remember. Nice guy, though.
A couple in Florida were arrested.
Old Harry.
A couple in Florida were arrested for having a winning lottery ticket, Miles.
How is that possible?
I'll tell you how at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. All right, we made it to drinking time.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Yorkers and visitors alike are heading to New York City's extraordinary experience that you have to feel to believe. Summit One Vanderbilt, an interactive multi-level experience of art, sky, and exploration. Discover exhilarating heights, explore reflective spaces, walk among floating silver orbs, and immerse yourself in spectacular views of New York. Book your visit at summitov.com and start your journey here.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Great time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yeah, this one's pretty short and sweet, and today we toast the rescue workers of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. As the story goes, around 2 o'clock in the morning, police officers came across a woman in, quote, medical distress. Now, we don't know exactly what medical distress she was in, but officers provided first aid and they called the EMS. Well, when the ambulance arrived, it ran over both the police officer and the woman that was there to help.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Both of them were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries by a different ambulance.
Did you read how many stories over the weekend involve people driving their cars into pedestrians, schools,
a park?
You name it. I mean, it was...
There was a school
this morning.
Construction
yes,
zones.
I wrote 4 different stories I read about people horrible stories. Some were
some were really bad,
terrible endings. I don't know what the hell happened this weekend, but it was an S show.
Yeah, there was a school. There was a random building where there's a birthday party. The construction site. Oh my God! I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So this was the lightest of them. It's just the ambulance hit the woman they were there to help, and then they took her in a different ambulance to go to the hospital. So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
That's Steve at Thrill Hill. Could you please, everyone? Now, Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the Men's Room.
What's up?
All right, Zach Attack, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You have a choice of one of three stories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Let's go with the Hit Me.
All right, we go to Memphis, Tennessee, where a man was arrested after police say he attempted to rob a gas station with something unusual last Monday. Reginald Cook, he's charged with 2 counts of attempted aggravated robbery. His bond is set at $4,000. Now, it was around 2 o'clock in the morning when Cook walked into a Shell station located on Elvis Presley Street and made a purchase. Well, about 30 minutes later, he went back to the store and demanded money from the register. Now, the cashier thought the cook had a weapon because he kept reaching into his clothing. But after the cashier refused to open the register, Cook left. Well, 35 minutes after that, Cook came back with his weapon of choice and carried a green backpack. Now, this time he shouted at the cashier, quote, "Give me the effing money," while reaching inside of the backpack. Well, the cashier called 911 and pulled out his own weapon, which happened to be a gun. And what do you know? No money was taken and no one was injured. But local police, they took Cook into custody and found a railroad spike and a rock inside of his backpack. They also took possession of his chosen weapon. Now, the store owner said Cook's family came out of the store the next day to apologize. He said they also offered to pay for any damages, which is cool of the family to do. Now, the question is, what was this dude's weapon of choice? Was it a live snake? Was it a hot burrito? Was it a broken bottle or was it a pool cue? So snake, burrito, bottle, or pool cue. What did this guy come back to the store to threaten the cashier with?
And to make sure, we're in Memphis, Tennessee. Is
Memphis,
that correct?
Tennessee. That is correct.
Man, I've been there, and there's some there's some folks down there in Memphis. So I think I'm going to go with a snake.
Go snake. Okay.
Okay, live snake. What was the second choice, Steve?
The
Hot burrito.
Hot burrito. Hot
yes.
burrito. I like hot burrito. I like hot burrito.
I'm going to go with broken bottle because he's already got a railroad spike.
Okay.
Something else. It seems like he's just foraging for weapons.
What was this guy's weapon of choice? A live snake, a hot burrito, a broken bottle, or a pool cue? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
I'm Sandra, and I'm just the professional your small business was looking for. But you didn't hire me because you didn't use LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn has professionals you can't find anywhere else, including those who aren't actively looking for a new job, but might be open to the perfect role, like me.
In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you'll miss out on great candidates like Sandra. Start hiring professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/recommend today.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category 7 with your best shot on profile. This Memphis man was arrested after trying to rob a gas station. He went there 2 or 3 times.
3 times total.
Yeah. But the last time he went with an animal, I guess, to use as a hold-up weapon or a...
yeah, he just had an odd weapon of choice.
Well, he had a snake. Then he had a hot burrito. Then he had a bottle, a broken one, and a pool cue.
That is correct.
So
all these things have been used as a weapon, and my man decided he wanted to experiment with it. D-Ted Smith, you went with the broken bottle.
I did.
Which makes sense given the fact that he had, the railroad spike?
Yeah, I feel like he's just walking down the street being like, I'll use this as a weapon.
Right, something sharp, something dangerous. It was not a railroad spike. Miles, you went with the hot burrito.
I did.
Which also sounds like a
sex
sex
gas
move.
station. So.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, but he pulled it out of his pocket. He wouldn't have pulled it out hot.
And then our buddy Zach, who has since hung up, he went with the snake.
Yeah.
But his whole reasoning was, I have been to Memphis. Things are different there. And he's right. Yeah, dude.
Did it say what kind of snake it was?
It didn't, but the cashier's like, okay, well, I have a gun.
Good luck. Good luck to you.
So, have fun with that.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with 10.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Now, I know it's a little tougher this year because, A, the Kraken aren't in the playoffs.
Correct.
But the NHL playoffs started this weekend. So did the NBA playoffs. NBA is always a little tougher when you don't have a team in town, which obviously sucks. But I was on the road yesterday, got home, and watched the Oklahoma City game, mainly out of spite to cheer against them. But it is kind of wild that, this time of year, I don't... I have one friend, he's from St. Louis. He's a massive hockey fan.
Sure. Okay.
Right? But a lot of my friends are kind of I don't think of as massive NBA or hockey fans, but those are two sports. The playoffs are completely different.
Look, I'll watch some hockey because of the Kraken, like you said. NBA, I generally don't watch, but when playoffs come around, I will watch NHL hockey and NBA play because their playoffs are so intense.
Correct.
And I truly enjoy it. And it sucks because they both play 80-some games before we get here. And I'm like, hey, fellas, I missed your first 80 games. It's like the father that doesn't show up at any of the things your kids does, right? And I missed your first 80 games, but you're in the playoffs. I'm here for you now.
They do play 82 games. I would say baseball is a lot like that, too. There's 162 of them, so you don't have to watch...
You don't, but I feel like baseball, I think maybe just because it's cost efficient, assuming you live in a city that has a team like we do here, you still go to a baseball game. You can spend as little or as much as you want just to be there, then the atmosphere is fun. But with the NBA and NHL, I spent a ton to get here. They're both a Climate Pledge, which is a fantastic arena, but it is so expensive when you get in. It's I'm going to go to T-Mobile Park and catch 4 or 5 games there.
Yeah, an NBA... I haven't been to an NBA game in a minute, but theirs still seems somewhat cheaper. I am always blown away how expensive hockey's got.
Hockey, yeah.
But just the game tickets alone are pretty darn expensive. And then it's just different. I always say this, but look, everybody, we're all Americans. Americans love football.
Yep.
And it's when it's football season, you make a point to watch those games. Each game does matter that much.
Because there's so few, right.
Yeah. So even for the Kraken, the NBA, I don't watch enough, so it's a little different. That game's different. It is funny. They just don't run half-court offenses anymore. But NHL, for sure, just goes to a hyper level when you get to the playoffs.
It absolutely
I don't think anyone's going to stop the Rangers, but with the NBA, there's so many good young... Yeah, I know Oklahoma City's tough to watch. They're a good young team. New Orleans, good young team.
Yep.
So, with those playoffs, we either going to have a brand new NBA champion, because when you think about the Golden States of the world and all these other teams that traditionally are pretty dominant, not doing as well, maybe Milwaukee. Lillard went off the other night. They got a good
the problem is to say you're going to have a new champion is just Jokovic is still down there in Denver, and they're still rolling.
Right. Yeah, that's the difference, man.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I watched that Milwaukee game. Dame Lillard was playing like a guy that just hasn't played in many meaningful games in the postseason.
And he didn't even have to play for a whole game, just half.
Yeah, he was going nuts. It is funny. I watched the second half of that game, and I commented to my buddy. I said, man, I forget, as I don't watch enough NBA, how pure and just clean the jump shots are.
Oh, God.
And they're just rifling them left and right. And then the Oklahoma City game, which was a lot better game, right, playing against the Pelicans. That was a fun game to watch, but not quite as pure, the shooting.
That's fair. That is fair.
Right. Also announced were the 2024 Rock of Roll Hall of Fame inductees. They announced who the class where it was last night on American Idol. There's 16 inductees. All right, now remember, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame basically is any kind of music.
Yes.
They just call it
music. Yes.
Yeah.
You're saying that for me, and I know that.
Well, it's not just you. A lot of people are going to be upset because you say rock and roll, people think rock. Ozzy Osbourne's getting it.
That makes sense.
It sure does.
So in the performance category, you have him. Then you have Mary J. Blige, who I like, but clearly is an R&B artist.
I like her, right? But it's just not rock. But whatever.
Cher.
Okay.
Well, Dave Matthews Band.
All right. Wallingford's Own or Charlottesville, depending on where you're from.
I mean, I think technically, though, jam bands still fit into rock.
Yeah.
You think about how long that guy's been touring, how successful he is. I don't know what his album sales are, but I guarantee you if he goes on tour,
okay.
He is one of the highest grossing tours. It's been around in the last 25 years. Yeah. And people love him, and they follow him, and he sells out 3 days at the Gorge every weekend, and Labor Day or whatever it is, Memorial Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
So,
right, trust me, I forget, and then I'll be traveling around the country, and you'll talk to people, and you bring up living in Seattle. Like, sometimes people are like, you ever been to the Gorge? It's like, yeah, what? Why do you ask? And it's like, oh, I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan. That's one of my life goals is to get to the Gorge.
It's legendary. One of my good friends in college was, before he even became famous, he was from the Virginia area and saw Dave Matthews play. I guess he was a bartender at a bar in Charlottesville, so we all went down there to see that show. I can't remember who else played, like the Grapes or a couple of those.
All right.
But everybody down there was the same mentality, like, Widespread's the greatest band that ever lived, man. And he was kind of part of that weird scene from there, where it really was jam. Like Pat Metheny was in that.
Dude, I've told you before, I think the weird thing about, we see it now because he's with Grateful Dead, but John Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got so popular for those poppy kind of songs that all the chicks like, but like my buddy, he was going to school in Virginia at college, and he was like, he called me up. He's like, I don't know, we have this John Mayer guy in here. Like, he shreds. Like, he was rocking the house.
He does, man. And I didn't give him any credit, just because, like you said, the songs that he put out first, and I get it, you got to do what you got to do. But when I first started dating my wife, and I was more agreeable to concerts we go to, she's like, look, it's John Mayer, Maroon 5, which to me is like, let's go to a Klan rally. And, I'm like, fine, I'll go. John Mayer played first, dude, and he played 2 of his hits. And then after that, he just shredded. And I'm just like, are you kidding me, man? Yeah. Everyone that likes rock would love watching you do. They're covering AC/DC, and they're crushing it. But what you hear from them on the radios, your body is a wonderland.
Oh, trust me, the Deadheads were not happy when he got that job.
I remember that.
Now they all really like him. Because I have some friends that are Deadheads, and I was telling them around a campfire, I go, I'm glad John Mayer got involved with them, because now I listen to more Grateful Dead.
Yeah, he's a badass, man.
Back to the Dave Matthews thing. My buddy was in a fraternity, not my scene at the time in college, but he and 2 other 3 friends. One of those guys' dads was a foreman on a construction project, whatever. They built a stage in the parking lot of the Sigma Chi house, and Dave Matthews Band was still a big band then, as far as the number of players.
Like actual people in it.
Yeah, so they built a really nice platform, and those guys, it was probably 1992, 91. He had a live album out that had all the stuff on it before Under the Table. So it was a lot of those tunes came from there.
I mean, I got
Jimmy Thing and all that stuff.
Under the Table, Dreaming was one of the first CDs I owned.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else is getting in the Hall of Fame? Foreigner.
Okay,
right,
good.
I'll give you a hint till the next one.
Are you kidding?
Peter Frampton.
Good call.
Good.
Hey,
sorry. I was thinking Crash Test Dummies.
I like Peter Frampton.
Oh, no, that ain't. I was trying to do that's impression.
I did not get your subtleties. You're a thespian. I did not get to that.
Good for them.
That's Peter Frampton was using that voice thing.
Foreigner had a ton of hits. So did Frampton. They
were massive.
They both deserve to be in there.
Also, Kool and the Gang.
Good.
Okay.
And then a Tribe Called Quest. Tribe is awesome.
I love Tribe Called Quest. Not rock, but we understand what it is. But good for them.
I love Kool and the Gang. I saw them at the Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. They played an after show with the fireworks.
Jimmy
like
Buffett,
4 songs.
Jimmy Buffett and Dionne Warwick, they're being recognized as for their musical excellence.
Okay. I mean, I get it. They should, yeah.
I think we all know the way with San Jose now with Google Maps.
Yeah, I mean, Dionne Warwick, I get. Again, Jimmy Buffett, for a long time, I didn't like him. I realized it's just some of his fans because they play the same songs in the bar all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I told you, I watched that documentary on Jazz Fest, and, like, Jimmy Buffett's a really cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of stuff.
Liked him as an individual. I just did not enjoy his music. But, yeah, he as an individual, like, good guy, man.
God.
His music dictated a life of hanging out on a boat in the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, I couldn't fault the guy.
Big Mama Thornton will be inducted in the musical influence category.
Yeah.
Along with British blues musicians Alexis Coroner and John Mayer? I don't know.
Oh, John Mayall, the Blues
John
Breakers.
Mayall, yeah.
Okay.
Blues stuff there. Let's see. The introduction or the ceremony will take place on October 19th in Cleveland, Ohio. It'll stream live on Disney+. Then it'll come out on Hulu the next day. And then, as always, ABC or one of the ABC will have the actual broadcast later down the road. Right. But generally, that thing's so long. There's so many people that perform. It takes a lot of editing, and it takes a while before it gets to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Andy Cohen is not leaving Bravo. Mike, I know you've been worried about it. Jesus. Just chill out, dude. Good
Where
news.
else would he go?
As you would say, Mike, good news for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, hey. Thankfully, there's good news.
The reports Andy Cohen was leaving Bravo due to failing ratings and recent controversies? False. Spokesperson for Bravo said there's absolutely no truth to the story of that tabloid, obviously made up by a source who is not credible.
Wrong.
The only thing I wanted to talk about today in the sports world is that I don't know if people are boxing fans or not. There was a big fight this weekend, right? Devin Haney is going to take on Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia, his only loss is to a guy named Tank, who's from Baltimore, who's a beast, but has some legal issues. He'll be back fighting soon.
You said Baltimore. He's a beast. He's got legal issues. Like, yep, okay.
I know.
It's just right there.
I know. I'm just like, come on. So Ryan Garcia, though, basically, like a few months ago, he it was reported that he had been kidnapped and that he had been killed. Then he comes back on his social media. It's like, I haven't been kidnapped. I'm obviously not dead. Like, blah, blah, blah. But his social media stuff has been wild. Like, to the point where I'm like, kind of like Charlie Sheen was. Like, look, I get you're passing a blood test right now. But look, cocaine, most
3 days, bro.
I was going to say, is it even that long? Like, I'd imagine meth gets out of your system pretty quick. So it's like, I know you passed the drug test. I still think you're losing your mind. Haney was ready to rock, this and that. And then I didn't watch the fight. I was just watching it on Twitter, like following along. Garcia, and he had a string quartet walk him out. You ever seen Platoon?
Yeah.
You know that famous string song?
Yeah.
Like, he's in the back room, and he's not warming up. He's just sitting there, and that song is playing with the string quartet. I'm like, this guy has lost his marbles. I was dead wrong. Like, I don't know if I could have been more wrong about this. Apparently, he just handled business, knocked him down a bunch of times.
You told me today, and what did we say last week? Because you would keep me updated basically on all of his antics. And I said, man, this is a boxing man. He's going to get his ass knocked out. I think I said that probably 4 times in a row last week. It was the exact opposite. From what I read, he beat the living ass out of the other guy.
Yeah, I couldn't have been more wrong. And then I started thinking about stuff. It's like, I was telling my one buddy, like, I love sports. I'm like, I need to take a timeout. Like I need to put myself in the corner, Miles. All right?
Well, I mean, you only think what you think based on what you've seen.
I was wrong.
I know, but so what?
Like hey,
I don't think anybody else who saw the same.
Justin Fields is one.
I know, but I don't think anybody who saw the same thing you did thought anything different.
Well, a lot of people,
because even the weigh-in was a mess.
But there was people saying it was a troll job, and he's friends with Jake Paul now, and this and that. I'm like, no way. This is serious sport. He was 3 pounds over, and I was like, nope, he's getting dropped. I mean, I was down in Oregon. I thought about betting on it.
So he bet. Okay, so he bet the guy that if he came in overweight, every pound would be $500,000.
Correct.
He wrote the guy a check for $1.5 million before the fight.
Yep.
But he put $2 million on himself to win the fight.
Correct.
So he won even more money. So he got his money back. That's a weird thing. You got a guy who just got suspended from the NBA, I guess. I understand it. It's a team sport. It's different. You can throw games. This guy could have easily bet against himself and lost the fight and made money.
That would be illegal.
I don't know why that he can bet on himself and win it. And
I think it's his way of saying, I'm good, guys.
Do you get what I'm saying?
There's just a difference.
You're betting on the fight.
Like the guy in the NBA, if he had been betting on his team to win and went out and scored a bunch of points, I don't think they would have suspended or kicked him out of the league.
I agree.
Yeah, you're right.
The fact was, they were winning bets because he was checking himself out of games.
You're throwing the game.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I guess Garcia is that good of an actor. I don't know. I think the guy's a whack job. I would never say that to his face because he has a crazy left hook. It will put me to sleep for good.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada.
Yada yada.
like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, and bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Picture this. It's blazing hot outside and you need to get to work. You get into your car and turn on the AC to get cold air pumping as soon as possible. But it doesn't work. Instead, blowing hot air out of your vents and directly into your face. No, your car doesn't hate you. This issue is commonly caused by low refrigerant due to leaks in the air conditioning system. And there's an easy, all-in-one solution that will restore the cold air in no time. There's no need to go to the shop and pay lots of money when you can save time and money recharging yourself with AC Pro Recharge Kits. AC Pro Recharge Kits make restoring cold air easy for even those with zero DIY experience. And the AC Pro app offers clear, vehicle-specific instructions to help you get the job done in less than 10 minutes. So pick up an AC Pro Recharge Kit at any store selling auto products and confidently restore your car's cold air yourself today. Be a pro with AC Pro.
The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Florida woman knocks on her neighbor's door asking if the couple wants any of this. Meanwhile, Australian authorities tell snakebite victims to not bring in that thing that makes a hiss. Man who ran marathon with a refrigerator on his back makes a horrible mistake. Ambulance driver has a hard time understanding the gas pedal and the brake. And a kayaking mailman rescues a parachuter who landed in a lake. Time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story, we go to Florida for the genius couple of the year. The pair made their way into several businesses that sell and redeem lottery tickets and scratchers in an effort to walk out with the winnings that they deserved.
Sure.
You see, they were the lucky recipients of a $1 million winning ticket. And they wanted to get their winnings and begin spending their new fortune. Unfortunately, they hit a little bit of a snag when the barcode kept registering as a non-winning ticket, leaving them empty-handed. What's more, it appeared that the ticket was crudely taped together with another non-winning ticket.
Come on,
to
man.
appear to have won $1 million jackpot. They even signed the back of the ticket under penalty of perjury, assuring officers that were called that they would never do such a thing because that's, quote, dumb and how you go to jail.
Hey, we wouldn't do that, dude.
Dumb and how to go to jail they did, as officers arrested them for the crime, and they now face charges thanks to conflicting and changing stories.
Damn, man. Come on.
You taped two scratchers together? You didn't think that they would see through that? There's a reason why there's barcodes on there, dude.
The barcode is... Dude, it's the lottery.
Right.
It is run by the state. Before they just hand you cash, they're going to scrutinize
Since when did they just go ahead and give money to the first guy that they could see, man?
You tape these together? Yeah. All right, cool.
Criminy. And again, I talked to somebody, I don't remember who, but they actually, they worked for a grocery store and they worked at one of those customer service checkout counters that you could redeem your lottery tickets.
Yeah.
And he says, dude, I don't care if the scratcher says that you didn't win. Scan the barcode.
Scan the freaking code.
If the barcode registers, they have to pay it out. So I, to this day, will scan every single one of them. Because he said that they had one that registered as a non-winner, but they scanned it and it was a winner.
Okay. I mean, if I play Powerball or something, that's what I do. I usually just scan it.
Right. Because there's also those odd combinations that'll still pay out. Maybe not the jackpot or maybe nothing like that, but
yeah,
you can win a couple bucks here and there.
Yeah. I never win more than 4.
I'm with you.
And then I buy a couple scratchers. I'm like, all right, this is pointless.
Enjoy my money, Washington.
Feels an idiot.
In other news, a couple doors over in the fine state of Louisiana, a woman was arrested for the crime of wanting a little love, and we covered her a little bit earlier today. A man was enjoying an evening at his apartment with his girlfriend when they heard a knock at the door. He answered it to find our fine young lady, who forced her way into his apartment and immediately began attempts at sexual advances on the couple, hoping to have herself a threesome. Unfortunately for our girl, the night didn't go according to plan. Officers were called and she was tracked down and arrested. She's facing charges. Hey, you want to have a threesome with your neighbors? All day. Have fun.
Is the charge just breaking and entering?
Yes.
Okay.
Forceful entry, that kind of stuff.
Okay, someone is.
You can't resist this.
Yeah, that's our picture. Yeah, we can.
I kind of can.
Yeah, we can.
That's just so weird.
Yes!
I've never heard of you being the third person. The couple doesn't say a word to you. You're just like, hey, I'd have sex with both of you.
Mind if I jump in the middle of that?
Like, that's why, like, a lot of places where orgies happen and stuff, like, you can't go in as a single dude. It's like, yeah, well, of course you want to come in here.
Right.
We know why you're here.
Yeah.
You want to watch while I do your man? You want to watch while I do your girl?
But that's aggressive. Just knock on your neighbor's door like, let's get it on.
Let's do it. I know you've been eyeballing me. Come on.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've ever had neighbors that I would have sex with.
Neighbors ever? Sure. I never thought to just knock on the door and be like, let's do this.
Honestly, me, no.
Really?
No.
Huh.
Maybe. Not even in the same apartment complex, honestly. Okay, moving on.
I know Mike and I are now going through.
I know every single person you've ever lived next to.
There's one hottie in my complex, but she's just on the other side of the complex, so I never see her. Then when I do, I'm like, oh, goddamn, I gotta say hello.
She lived on the other side of the complex.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm just knocking her door. Let's have a threesome.
Invite a friend.
Oh man, down in Australia, local hospitals are facing a problem frequently enough that they've elected to put out a PSA for all those seeking help. They've had an influx of patients coming to the hospital to be treated for snake bites, but make the mistake of believing that identifying the snake that bit them is necessary to get them treatment as they need. This has led patients to not only bring themselves in for treatment, but the snakes that bit them as well. Hospital officials say this causes unnecessary dangers to hospital staff and patients, as well as the patient in need of care, and have advised people to leave the snakes alone and just come to the hospital.
I mean, I get both sides. I obviously get the hospital, like, please do not bring something dangerous here.
Right.
The flip side, it's Australia. You got all these venomous snakes. Like, look, I can't identify what type of snake it was.
Right.
Right. And I don't know how this works, but I think with your antivenoms and all that kind of thing, doesn't it have to be?
I think from what they're saying here, snakes, I don't believe that to be the case, but spiders is the one that I've always heard. Like, what did it look like?
Then that's what they need to say. If it's a snake bite, we have the antivenom.
Right.
Just take a picture of the snake. Right.
Exactly. Just take a picture.
I just can't believe
just as well.
Don't pick it up. It's already killed somebody or is trying to.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like you're just going to get bit again.
Exactly. And that's kind of what they're saying. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth.
Thankfully, there's good news.
Out to Massachusetts, where the U.S. Postal Service only hires heroes. A local letter carrier was out on vacation with a fellow letter carrier at his station, and the pair were enjoying a day of kayaking when they spotted someone in distress. I don't know why. This story makes me laugh.
That's weird, man. That's a remote lake in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden you see a parachute guy come down.
Nothing about the headline makes sense in any context.
The man was a skydiver who had made an unfortunate landing in the water, and his parachute had become entangled in the lily pads, causing a dangerous situation. They paddled their boats over to the floundering skydiver and were able to give him help back to shore, albeit with considerable effort on their part to traverse the confounded vegetation. They got the diver to safety, and bystanders called 911 to treat the man, though he sustained no life-threatening injuries. The postal worker is being commended through the Postmaster General's Hero Program.
You're lucky you got a mailman and a kayak.
Yeah.
Damn. In the world of sports, the Mariners got it done over the weekend, taking 2 out of 3 games against the Rockies. They're currently on the road, bound for Texas to play a 3-game series starting tomorrow. Your Seattle Sounders did not have as good of a weekend, unfortunately falling 0-2 against Vancouver, and they'll be back in action next Saturday.
But as a result of them sucking, a man's life was saved.
That's correct. We'll cover that later on. But they'll be back in action next Saturday against DC United. Some love for our rugby team. Your Seattle Seawolves emerged victorious against the New England Free Jacks, winning 21-29. Sports on tonight. NHL playoffs continue with Game 2 of the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, and the Islanders and Hurricanes all on now, moving into Game 1 between the Golden Knights and the Stars, and the Kings and the Oilers. Those games on ESPN and ESPN2 respectively. I believe the Leafs and the Bruins are going into the third period, and as well as the Islanders and the Hurricanes might be somewhere in the second. NBA playoffs are moving along as well, with Game 2 of the Magic and the Cavaliers on NBA TV. Also as well as Game 2 between the 76ers and the Knicks, which is currently in halftime, and the Lakers and Nuggets. Those games on TNT and True TV. As far as your weather, the clouds are moving in tonight, and temperatures are expected to drop to the mid-40s. That'll give way into tomorrow, where we can expect partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-60s, and some winds between 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is that?
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Kevin Deere's up next. He's got more tickets for you to check out Aerosmith, as does the Daily Mix Morning Show all day tomorrow. We'll have your chance again.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
At Metro, get an iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system for $99.99. Take amazing pictures and share them instantly. And don't put up with life's yada yada. Yada yada. Like photo bombers. Zoom, crop out, yada yada. And bye.
You don't take yada yada in life, don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Get iPhone 12 with 5G with no activation fees and nada yada yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile. Switch to Metro, bring your ID. This offer isn't available for customers currently at T-Mobile or that have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
For those in the market for flavor, there's Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, a flavorful drink that's a modern twist on a Mexican street classic with 4 vibrant and refreshing flavors. Pineapple, watermelon, hibiscus, and cucumber lime, made with a splash of real fruit juice. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas are perfect for any fiesta, small or big. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas, boldly authentic, vibrantly flavorful. Drink responsibly. Modelo Spiked Aguas Frescas flavored beers imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Hibiscus contains juice only for color.